What's going on, guys? It is Monday, February 1st. I am Brandon, host of Brandon's Show. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Oh, shit. Are we having issues already with the stream? That's not cool. Here we had everything working just perfectly last week. Hold on, just... All right, let's see if that fixes whatever that early issue was. Cross your fingers. Hope everything works out all right. I don't know what that was, but hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me out there. I think Ian Adams has given me a thumbs up, but I just restarted. Let me know it's all clear. And welcome to the show, everyone. I see we've got SE Montreal. What's up, SE? Flat for Life. What's up? Ian Adams. Brandon Cook. And Page 42. What's up, Page? Chrissy Heavey. YouTube. Alexander Lightwater. And many more to come. Matrix Media. Whale Oil Beef Hooked. Whale Oil Beef Hooked. Huh. Interesting name. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Let's see, what do we got going on today? I found some new NASA stuff. There was a Chad Preston. He's got a small channel. Video he put out of Gemini 4 footage. And also some the first Russian spacewalk, which actually looks a lot like the Gemini 4 footage. And I think Chad mentioned that in his video. So we could take a look at that and laugh at NASA's fakery from the 60s some more. That's always fun. Take a look at this Himawari real time that I got sent as evidence for the globe, and talk about Himawari, since that's used as evidence that they take a picture from space of Earth every, whatever, 10 minutes or whatever the hell it is they say. And they act like we don't have the supercomputers or technology to make composite photos like that, which is ridiculous. 4 creepy NASA founders. I bet you can guess who they are. 4 creepy NASA founders. I thought that was pretty cool. And then one more I found just before the show. A headline from SpaceX announces first all-civilian mission to space. Haven't they done that like 10 times already? They said that like 10 times. I don't know. But anyway, we'll see what that's all about. Maybe we can get a flat earther on it with a ticket on there. Although I have to guess that the guest list is pretty exclusive for something like that. But we'll take a look and see what the requirements are and how much it costs. Let's see, what do we got? What else we got going on? I'll put the Streamlabs link in the chat if you want to support the show. It's appreciated. And the best support you can give for the show is by coming into the Discord, hanging out, coming on the show. Anybody's welcome to join the show. If you're out there listening, you can join the show 5 to 8 Eastern Standard Time every weekday. Well, most weekdays. Or just, show us something that we haven't seen before. Give us an argument we haven't heard before. Whatever. Come on in. Hang out. All right. Let's see. Who do we have in the Discord? Looks like we've got some folks in the Discord. Let's pop over there, see what they're talking about. Say hello.
What's wrong?
Your mic's mad low. Is it me?
Oh, okay. No, it's me.
No, it sounds way low.
I can't even believe I heard you, honestly. It's like below a whisper almost.
Let me turn it up.
Being sucked into the
there
void. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, is that better? Yeah.
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Now,
You said over there. Where's over there?
Gems.
Oh God, why'd you go there?
I have mental issues, bro. I told you.
Because he hates himself.
I need to punish myself. I think. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Why don't you take to whipping yourself on the back with like a long switch or something instead, Jeremy?
Something, right? Yeah, something. I know.
Hey, Brandon.
Because that wouldn't be enough. He would be numb to that kind of pain. He needs
I
the
need the
real
mind
pain.
Brandon
the
goes to
mind
Gems as well, but he goes under a pseudonym, don't you, Brandon?
No, I hang it out in there under my regular Discord account. I don't talk a lot. I just usually hang out and listen.
So you don't have a pseudonym then?
I do not have a pseudonym. No, I only have one. I actually have a second account, but I never use it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Are you doing a show tonight?
Yeah, we're on the air right now, man.
Oh, hello, YouTube. Hello.
Oh yeah, I guess I should introduce you guys, huh? let's see who we got. We'll start with the people we already heard from. What's up, Mark Helvetica Bold? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
Good. Thank you. And Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy?
What up?
And we got Jimbo. Jimbo, what's up, man?
Hey, still promoting the TN42, the 1440 meter thrower flashlight. So light and easy to use, a child could have fun with it.
Also the official
Good afternoon.
flashlight of the Brandon show, right, Jimbo? Although I'm not getting a cut for this, so we got to talk
Well,
about that.
the other promo code I put in was Brandon, so
Okay, all right.
you'll start getting a cut soon.
Thanks, Jimbo.
This is the official flat Earth flashlight.
It should be just like the P1000, you know. This thing, holy hell. You know, it's like having a 6-shooter at your hip. No, the warm, fuzzy feeling, the first person who comes on here and gloats about it and, you know, what the hell. Anyway, I'd make an offer if a couple of people buy it, we'll do a lottery. If 10 people buy one, I'll reimburse one person for the full value of their light.
Wow.
They get it for free.
How much are they?
169 US, and I keep my word. If 10 people buy one, we'll do a lottery, and I'll pay for one that one person's cost, and they get their fucking flashlight free. Let's see if that happens.
10 flash. Let's see if we can move 10 flashlights tonight, folks. Sounds good, Jimbo. And we got Matrix Media. What's up, man?
Mic check. What's going on, everyone?
Sounds good, brother. How you doing?
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And Bob Dole, the real Bob Dole. What's up, man?
Hello.
And Brian Leakey. What's up, Brian?
Hey, what do you say?
F Evangelist. What's going on, Effie?
Hey, Brandon. Sorry, man. Just a bit busy buying flashlights at the moment.
No problem. No problem. So what's been
He's
going on,
buying
guys?
heavy stocks in the flashlight market. He's getting in on the ground floor.
Yeah, that one's going to go up. We'll start our own Wall Street bets. We'll call it Flat Earth something.
This light is like beauty and technology. Like I say, it's like having a light stronger than the sun in your hand. So enjoy.
Flat Earth
It really
bets.
is.
There we
It
go.
washes out the sunlight in broad daylight. So
Wow. Maybe that's what NASA's using down in Antarctica to fake the sun. You ever think of that, Jimbo?
could be the sun is like, you know, you can get extremely big bright lights from a tiny beam. Depends what it's hitting, what it's reflecting off. Like when you look at those blue laser to phosphor that make a laser white light, it's just, you see very little blue and then you see this huge amount of white light from nothing little
Why
surface.
is Jimbo shilling out flashlights?
Like, this light, the True Night, has a little LED on it that's about not even 3 millimeters by 3 millimeters. And it's projecting a light over a mile. Fact is, it's projecting light over 25 miles. So anyway,
wow,
I love them. They're modern. They're new. They put the old ones to shame, just like our modern equipment and cameras. You know,
How much
there's no
does one of
comparison
those
to them.
cost?
And you know, instead of a stick in the stupid mud, maybe get a light.
How much does it cost?
Oh, you need a stick and then you jump in a well.
169 US.
Oh, that's not so bad for a super awesome flashlight.
It's a lifetime thing. If you ever were lost in the woods and you send out an SOS, people will see it 12 miles around.
Hey, we should be able to see it on the ISS live stream, right? If we shine one. If we shine
one
one.
of my friends lives 4 miles away. When I use it as, like, you know, one of those searchlight beams, he sees it 4 miles away, clear as freaking day, and laughs.
If somebody was going to rape you and you had this flashlight, could you temporarily blind them by shining it in their
Yes,
eyes?
it is. It'll blind them for a good 5-10 minutes. They'll be seeing
That's a good
spots and
selling
not be able to figure out nothing.
There you go.
It has a strobe mode too, which is fucking blinding because I've done it to myself a few times accidentally.
This is a big selling point. You should focus on this.
Oh, you shined it in your own face on purpose, Jimbo?
No, it has a lunar level where it's the moonlight brightness, but sometimes I get these twitches and I'll double click, you know, like I'm on a mouse still or something. Instead of cycling through with one click, wait, you know,
Yeah.
I'll do the old double click, you know.
What about the
Okay.
What about the batteries, Jimbo? Is it charged? Is it
They
rechargeable?
look like normal batteries, just a little bigger. They recharge great. At full power, they'll give you a high beam for an hour and a half. They'll give you like enough light to light your camp or your home, your office for 2 months on one charge.
You said it's
they look like
USB.
ordinary like AAA batteries, just a little bigger.
Boy.
They are the, what is it, 18650 lithiums. They're so common, so standard, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
US
I just
These
put,
in the
USB
bikes and
rechargeable?
everything, e-bikes, you name it. So there's.
I just put together a bank of them.
Oh,
I
you're
just put
talking about
together
the
a bank of
batteries
them
that
for my
are
e-bike.
Talking about vape batteries and stuff like that, and laptop batteries.
These things have never failed me. They really do meet the power output and the duration that they claim.
Wait, you say it takes an hour and a half to recharge them, and then they last?
No. I said if you turn it on full blast to the full 1440 projection throwing mode, the highest consumption on the battery, they'll last for an hour and a half from a full charge.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Are you thinking about
So
getting
you
one,
don't
Brian?
have to stuff in new batteries every 5 minutes and, you know, see it fade out or nothing. And it has an indicator. It's green when, you know, the batteries are charged and can do their job. And as soon as they're underpowered at any level of brightness, it's red. It flashes red to let you know to charge.
And to give people an idea, Jimbo, when I go gigging and grab like a deep cycle battery or a automotive battery, and I use like a high beam headlight, they'll only last for a couple hours, you know, before they start dimming down pretty much with a car battery. So
yeah. Oh, this is a beautiful technology, beautiful light, and like you know, almost like the commercial. Flat earthers, don't leave home without it. You'll start changing the world with one. And you'll get that warm, fuzzy feeling. I really mean it. And people will laugh. And, you know, when you shine it sometimes, people who don't know what it is think it's a freaking UFO shining down something. No
Well,
joke. I'm not joking.
Are they still doing the ISS live stream or no?
I don't know. Let me look it
That'd
up.
be something if you could get a couple of guys to shine these all over, you know, when it's supposed to go over them, and
Blind to the ISS.
And that's probably when them lights are going to become illegal.
you should at least be able to see it.
The Chinese found a wart on the ass of the moon on the dark side, you know, so
A what?
there's hardly anything, a wart on the ass of the moon. The Chinese are making discoveries on the backside of the moon. They found some type of mass, you know, maybe a dark side of the moon cancer or something.
Oh, I hadn't heard about
All
that. I
these
hope the moon's
scientists
okay.
are bent out of shape, yeah. Apparently the moon has hemorrhoids on the dark side or something.
I've been thinking deep thought, man, and I put out a video. I may have to retract it, man.
We'll
it's
give you
tricky thinking about this.
We're not going to promise
Yeah, go
not
ahead.
to rip on you, but go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, see, I thought of something though, man. It's really tricky when you start thinking about this. It's like flopping a helix almost, or a double helix when you start talking about like straight line and curved lines next to them that appear straight because they're arcing and up and down. You know, from looking from beginning to end at a straight line, looking above, basically a God view, a curved line like the equator would appear straight. So if you have a straight line, but I thought of another idea. I wanted to run this by y'all. Okay, if we let's say if we go, let's go a great length, like over a body of water, a calm body of water. Let's say about 6 or even 10 miles, whatever. Let's say we go to a distance where the hump in it would be, let's just say 15 foot hump in the middle, and we go that distance. So we have 3 water levels. Basically, we put a 20-foot stick, or 20-foot pole, straight up and down, you know, checked with a plumb bob in the middle, and a 20-foot stick on each end. Okay, and we drop and we lay them down 90 degrees to the right, okay, looking from beginning to end, like a God view, and then go into the beginning, looking from beginning to end. We lay them all down to the right, 90 degrees, and then so we run a straight line, and so the claim is on the globe or a flat model, they're going to line up with that straight line 20 foot next to it. They'll all fall down 20 foot to the right, okay, on a globe or a flat earth, okay? So what we do, though, is we take a string line from the end of that pole and measure back, okay, and measure back. We measure 45 degrees down toward the, you see what I'm saying? Like the first pole, the beginning point should be 15 foot higher. So the string line we run from the end of that pole to the, to like, let's say 5 foot under the water, we check that angle, and then the middle one, that's supposed to be a 15 foot hump. So we have to run a string line from the end of that pole to 20 foot down. It should be the same angle as the one that we measured 5 foot down because of the 15 foot hump. So we'd have to check the angle. But my other idea is, I'll explain that a little bit more detail, but let me give the other idea. The other idea is going a very long distance and with a calm body of water, and we put, okay, we measure, we do a 15 foot hump, we measure 15 foot above the water at the beginning, and then we're looking down, okay, and then at the middle, we raise a hump, the first one we raise 10 feet in the air, the second one we raise 25 feet in the air, and then the third one we raised 10 feet in the air. So there should be a cord in between the first one and the last one. And then we pull strings 45 degrees to the right on each one. And they should technically, if the earth is flat, they would not line up. Because the one that's higher, they should line up on a globe though. Because you know what, I'll draw it here shortly and to better explain it. But it doesn't work at 90 degrees if you really think about it. There's an argument against it. But at 45 degrees, we could do it like this. If the first one, the rope or the string angles down at 45 degrees, and we just make the string in the middle 15 foot longer. If it's a 15 foot hump, it should have to go. I'm gonna have to draw it, man. I'm having trouble explaining it, but to me, a 45 degree angle is key.
Brian, you gave us an awful lot there. You would need to plan that out on a diagram or a video or something. But we trust you.
True that.
Yeah, definitely like to see. It was a lot to follow, but yeah, I'd definitely like to see a diagram, like Mark said.
I definitely understand that it's a lot to follow, but here's the argument with the last video I did, okay? So the argument, I didn't even have to hear it. I come up with it in my own head. The argument is where's the bottom? You know, we got to have a level spot somewhere in there, or else they'll argue that the spot in the middle, the level spot, would be higher. And it gets tricky, man. I've been thinking deeply into it, and the best I come up with, I will diagram it to explain it better, but a 45 degree angle I think would solve it. Go ahead.
You got to know what you're working with on the bottom, if it's flat or if it's curving. If you know that, then there's no reason to do anything else past that point. Because if you know you got a flat spot, then you just take a water level to it.
It's tricky as shit, man. Or maybe it's my brain, dude. It's like when you're trying to compare the two. It's amazing how you could come up with the math or an argument to support the globe and the test, man. It's tricky, man, but I think I found a way around it, man. It'd be not quite as obvious, but it'd still be apparent, in my opinion. Here within the hour, I'll diagram it so I can better explain it.
Okay. Well, I've got one to share in the meantime that we did talk a little bit about in the after show on Friday, which I will put out on video sometime because it was freaking hilarious. So look forward to that. It was very funny. We're talking about kazoos, gas station sausages, and croquet and crochet needles. So it was very, very all over the place. But I came up with this idea of digging a cord into the earth, meaning you take like 3 mile long. I should be sharing in the Discord. You take like a 3 mile. You're digging a trench 3 miles long, and you've got a center point about 1.5 miles, right? In this center point, you dig down into the earth. So see how this is sloped. We've already dug out the dirt here. You dig down in the earth 18 inches, which is the height of the Sagittarian for 3 miles on a globe. So you're digging down the same height as the Sagittarian. So we're essentially trying to make a chord. Then as we go outwards in each direction 1.5 miles, you would take a water level and you dig down, calculate how big the Sagittarian would be right there, you know, how much curvature there would be right there. So you'd essentially be digging a chord through the earth. Now on a flat earth, you'd end up with a trench that looks like this. It'd be a hole in the middle that's 18 inches long, tapering off to nothing on the ends. On a globe, you'd end up with something that looks like this. You'd be shaving the top of the curve off. And then my idea was
flat.
Yeah, it'd be flat. Yeah, it'd be flat. You'd just have a flat trench, right? So my thought was,
Earth is a globe. Hold on. If
the
Earth is a globe, it's flat.
Yeah, that's what I said. If Earth is a globe, it's flat.
Right.
If it's if it's a globe, it's flat. If it's flat, it is a trench. It's just a hole in the ground. So my thinking was that you could take a camera at the start of the trench. So you'd stand like down here, point your camera this direction, right? On a globe, you'd be looking through that cord. You'd be looking through a trench that goes all the way 3 miles to the other side. There'd be no dirt in between since it's a cord. You'd be able to see all the way through, and it looks something like this in theory. On a flat earth, it's just a trench in the ground, so you just see the ground. You couldn't see all the way through to the other side.
Can we go back to Brian's explanation?
The thing is, that's funny.
Hey, Brandon, have you put a lot of deep thought into it, man? Like I have. I'm just curious. Have you put a few hours of just kind of meditative type of deep thought? If you think about this, I think I found a better way to explain it. I'm gonna have some questions with yours, but while I'm thinking about it, okay. So if there's a 15-mile hump, a 15-foot hump in the middle of whatever distance we have, okay, from the cord in the middle,
yeah,
okay, then if we have a 20-foot string just hanging straight down on each one, okay?
On each one.
Okay, and
on each one.
At each point, at the beginning, the middle, and the end, we have a 20-foot string hanging down. Okay, if supposedly the middle is a 15-foot hump, if we pull it out 45 degrees, it should. In other words, the ones on the end should go further down. So the one in the middle that's got the 15-foot hump should not make it as far, so they shouldn't line up. If you look straight down it, sure, the hump will look like a straight line, like the equator. Looking from beginning to end, it'll also look like God view, it'll look like a straight line, and the one next to it that is a straight line will look like a straight line. The one next to it is just a reference. But the point is if we pull them 45 degrees, they should the distances should vary by the 15 foot, but since it's 45 degrees, it wouldn't be 15 foot, but it'd be somewhere around there, do the math, 45 degree angle, how much, it'd be like 7.5 foot, but it would be different lengths down. On a globe, they'd have to be offset a little bit, would be my point. But that's, in my head, I could explain it. In words, I cannot.
All right, let me see if I can help you.
Brandon.
So you've got these.
I got a question for you.
Well, let me clarify with Brian real quick. So if you've got these ropes, here's the middle. Here's your earth, right? Here's the middle. So you've got a rope. You hang it down, and you're hanging it down on the ends. Is that what you mean? On the end of each of the cord?
Yeah, the top of the water level. So if the water levels are, let's say, just the first two are like 10 foot in the air. I mean, the end two are like, let's just say 5 foot in the air for simplicity's sake, or 10 foot in the air. We got to have them 10 foot in the air at least to run a 45, unless we go underwater or run them higher. But okay, so the end two are 10 foot in the air, and the middle one is also 10 foot in the air above the water level. So instead of picturing a body of water, let's picture water levels. They're dead lined up in a straight line. So what we're trying to determine is if that line is humped or not.
Well,
okay, so we pull 45 degrees, but what we do is we add 15 foot of line to the one in the middle, because there's a 15-foot bulge in it. We've got to add 15 foot to it for it to make it as far 45 degrees as the two ends. So if we do it like that and we pull them 45 degrees, they should line up perfect if the Earth is a globe, with the one in the middle being 15 foot longer because of the 15-foot bulge.
I don't think
you
so,
feel me?
Brian, because if you use a water level, you're gonna hang it from, let's say you hang it from 15 feet here. You use a water level and measure at this spot on the globe Earth in the middle. You're still going to hang it from 15 feet here, and you go to this spot, you're still going to hang, it's still going to be 15 feet off the ground. So when you pull those out, it'd be the same as on a flat Earth. If the Earth was flat, they'd still be 15 feet off the ground.
Well, you need a 15-foot longer string to make it to the same point.
The same point. Are you pulling up,
so basically what we're determining is the bottom of them lines at that 45-degree angle, are they flat? Because they should be flat if the water is bulging and we have a 15 foot. It doesn't work at 90, but at 45, just the fact that they're not moving over as they're angling, they're angling down and moving over at the same point. So in reality, that line in the middle would have to be 15 foot longer to hit the same spot as the two shorter ones. To, you know what I'm saying, to hit that flat ground in free space, basically. So it's not ground. We're basically trying to create a point in free space that the end of them lines represent at 45 degrees. So we could either pull a string line next to them and pull them all to that string line and check the angles, or we could just dictate a 45 degree angle and make the center one 15 foot longer due to the 15-foot bulge. Or if we did it if we only did it like a few miles, we make it like a 5 foot longer, or whatever the math dictates. At least think on that, you know.
Sure. Yeah. Draw a diagram too, and then we'll be able to understand it easier.
Definitely draw a diagram.
The thing with everything.
Brandon.
Hold
Brandon,
on.
can you go to slide number?
Ruhif did ask to say. Go ahead, Ruhif.
Yeah. And I can't stay very long at all, actually. Can you go to slide number 5 again?
Sure.
So so the top is like flat Earth and bottom's the globe. So all these experiments that you guys are putting forward recently, such as like a force the line, torque the line, digging a trench kind of thing. I imagine these are all so that you don't have to use anything optical.
Right.
Because right. But then at the end of this particular experiment, so let's say yours, where you dig a trench, how are you demonstrating that the trench is either flat or sort of concave like the top one?
Yeah.
How do you demonstrate that?
Very perceptive of you. That's why we threw it out. Because you'd have to do it optically.
That's the problem, man, with all these tests.
Hold on a second.
Is the bottom of the line of whatever we do has to be free space. It can't be compared to a globe or a flat model. It has to be compared with each other. That's why I recommend a 45-degree angle with a 15-foot longer string in the middle to match the 15-foot bulge, because the end of them lines, if we manipulate a 45-degree angle on each one, then we could pretend that the bottom of them string lines are free space, no matter how far down or whatever they are.
Yep.
But it wouldn't be as apparent, but it should be apparent, right?
Yeah, you definitely need to draw that, because I've got no idea what you're saying.
Brandon, here.
My point before I go, I haven't seen anyone suggest any experiment that doesn't use optics to demonstrate the shape of the Earth. And if you can't do that, then you may as well just use optics by themselves.
We know
Okay,
we know
thanks for that.
the flaw in optics, though, don't we, Ruhe?
So again, you know, the flaw. Oh, the flaw, FLAW, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I think both sides accept that water settles flat. I think we need to use the water as a reference point so that we can force the line over a body of water and see whether it's curved or flat.
Yeah, but you're always going to have. How do you sort of guarantee no sag in the line, that sort of stuff?
Well, forget about the line. You use a handrail across. You can start your journey of 6 miles with a level that we can all accept that that is level, whether it's flat,
auto level or a water level.
Okay. We've got a 6 mile trench full of water. Yep. At one end, where we're all going to start, we're going to accept that this is level.
Let me stop you right there. Hold on a second. You've got to make your level
a spirit level.
You've got to make your level. You've got to make your level. All right, go ahead. Never mind.
I think both sides can accept that spirit level is perpendicular to the surface that we're standing on.
Yes, but how do you extend that level?
Well, you'd have to do that with the. I think we'd need to accept that a laser beam is accurate for half a mile. I don't think we would argue about that.
That's optics, right? You're looking at a laser beam.
Yeah, but optics over a short space of view is pretty accurate. When it goes over 6 miles, we're arguing that whether it's accurate or not.
When you said there's a flaw in optics, what did you mean?
Hold on one second. If you're making a line, you have to start with the middle of it level and you work your way out. You're always going to be measuring the sagittal with this. You guys know?
I thought the one with the fishing
line. What your
line.
experiment is. I've got to go. That's all I came to say. Is I haven't seen anyone suggest anything without optics. And if you have to use optics, you may as well not bother with digging.
We've made many suggestions without optics. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, come on.
Ruhif,
I would love to hear one.
Ruhif, optics is dependable at a certain point. We'd have to agree that optics is dependable over a short span of measurement.
I think optics you'd have to take into account refraction after a certain distance. I don't see that as unreliable.
I haven't gave up on my fishing line test, y'all. I just I'm waiting to get some help. Water's real cold right now, but I haven't gave up on the fishing line just to get some type of idea. I think if we can get it to nudge one way or another, I think to me that would be proof enough for me to go all in debate in this debate.
I think
there's always going to be forces up and down on that line, whether they be buoyant or gravity forces. I
understand that, but if we can match them close enough and we pull it tight and just get a little force, so if it nudges up just a tiny bit, that would suggest to me it's flat. If it nudges down just a smidge, just a smidge, the way I'm conducting that test, if I can get it to nudge just a tiny bit one way or another, that would be enough for me. Because I can't think of a force that would counteract it.
Hey, I got an idea. Brian, we'll make a line. We won't use a line like a string. We'll use a 3 mile long, really tiny, slim balloon.
Ruhif, if you were to build in your back garden or your backyard a workshop that was 100 meters in length, could you guarantee that it's absolutely flat? The concrete that you put on the floor is absolutely flat.
I would do it with optics, and there'd be a certain margin of error.
Yeah. At 100 meters, I think we would both agree that that's definitely flat.
Yeah, but I'd do it with optics.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. 100 meters, yeah. But then, if we were to then start imagining or projecting how your concrete floor would expand over 6 miles or 6 kilometers, that's where we would start to have to argue. I think we could both start with 100 meters of a flat, level concrete.
Yeah, but like the difference between
check it with water.
You've got like a millimeter of drop over 100 meters, and obviously that gets,
Why don't you just?
When you think about this, Ruhif, okay, picture if you're over there in the UK, there's a few thousand miles between the United States and me. Okay, so if you go to the shore and you watch somebody set out on a boat, you watch me set out on a boat going to the United States.
Yep.
And by the time I get there, you're looking at me and I'm looking at you from shore to shore, and there's a 3,000 or 4,000 mile hump of earth in the way, man. That's what the globe model dictates. That's tough to imagine, man.
Well, that's not my problem that you can't imagine it.
So what Brandon was saying earlier, basically a flat line on a globe would be, so if it's holding water, anything holding water constant would be a flat line. So a true flat surface on a globe would be a pond or a lake or an ocean. Yeah. And that's tough to think about too. So that means if they're saying the salt flats are curved, if the salt flats are indeed curved, and you poured water on it, the water would be, if the salt flat holds 3 foot of water, then the salt flat would have to be flat in free space, and the water curved. If it's a globe, I don't know if I made sense with that, but think about that for a minute.
I know, I understand.
Brandon,
it's not my problem that you can't conceive of how things would work on a globe. Anyway, I'm going to go.
No. I understand how it works, bro. But I'm just throwing up some problems, man, because they say that the salt flats are curved.
Not a problem. It is pure.
They say the salt flats are curved, but they hold 3 foot of water, though. Yeah, if they hold 3 foot of water on a rain,
a problem because we can't witness it actually take place. So that makes it a problem. It is literally nonsense.
Pure incredulity. I've got to go.
Well, one more point. If they hold 3 foot of water,
I have to take my dogs to the vet. I've got to go.
All right. Sorry, buddy.
Brandon. Yeah, all right. Later, Ruhif. Bye. Beat it.
He's gone. He's gone.
I'm just talking about.
My only last point was, if it holds 3 foot of water, if that's the only fall from beginning to end.
Oh, hold on, Jeremy, your mic's low.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I think that's why you're getting stepped on.
It's a really stupid argument that they want to convince us of something, but then when we say that we don't believe their nonsense, it's not their problem. Well, if you don't care if we believe you or not, then why are you in here trying to convince us? If you don't care if we're convinced,
it's
going to take something we can actually verify for you to convince us. It's that simple.
Right, and look how difficult it is. Look at how much time we've spent and how many ridiculous ideas we've come up with just to try to measure the fucking curvature. And we're incredulity. What did he call it? It's incredulity. We can't figure out how to measure it. How did they measure it? They just assumed, they calculated it, right?
It's the exact same thing they do at the very least, if what they do isn't worse, which it might be, but they're incredulous about what we say about the sun being maybe closer. Possibly. It might, maybe, possibly be closer to the earth than you guys think it is. No, it can't be. It's literally impossible. It's like, are you kidding? Like, that is the same thing, except possibly even worse than what we're doing, because all we're saying is maybe it's closer, and you're saying no, literally no chance at all.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're better.
Because it's
all right. Why don't we tell them about the $17 million paperclip wire? No.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, let's hear it. Why not?
Well, there's a wire that will hold its form. I think you got to get it hot or something. It's memory metal. You could do it with that. We need $17 million though. So
yeah, it's only 7 pounds per millimeter. So
yeah, it's measured.
It's ludicrous that we're even considering doing this, because the Suez Canal, 120 mile long.
Oh, what up, Dan?
Exactly.
I know, Brian. I know, Brian. I know.
What's up, Jim?
It feels like a fool's errand, but we just want to do it, man.
Did you say you need $17 million?
The best thing I've heard so far is Brian Leakey's about stretching the fishing line that floats on water.
I like that one.
What I was going to add to that was tow it out with a model boat.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought about using that or a drone too.
Well, you could fix it at the plimsoll line, the water line on the boat, with the drone, you're always going to have some up element, aren't you?
True. Yeah, the boat idea is good. I like that.
Just
I like the line. They say that surface tension and the buoyancy of the line, if it floats or doesn't float, you're always dealing with sag or some kind of downward or upward force on it. So there's an issue there.
Well, I'm sure if there was a hump in the middle, that line would cut through the water and lower itself to create the straight line tension of the line.
I think it would too, but if it doesn't, they can just say surface tension and it didn't prove anything.
Hey,
yeah, but if I go over 3 miles and I'm 2 foot underwater or whatever the hump dictates, and I sink it down gently and I transition it to each side and I pull it tight as it will until it breaks from each end, it's only got to come up a centimeter to show that it's trying to tighten up to the top. And if it's a globe, it's only got to tighten down a centimeter. Okay, it doesn't have to get tight. I just need an indication of what that tension is trying to do to it.
That's right. Just press it down, and if it stays down, or what I would have thought, go beyond where it should be, so it comes back up and settles 6 inches or 12 inches below the water surface, and then lift it up to the water surface and let it go, and it should go back down to its straight and level path.
It should try to, right?
Brian, what kind of line you got? Is it buoyant?
The line I had, man, was a few spools, and I was gonna tie them together, but I just found, dude, I don't know what happened to it. I can't find it.
You can get a 1 mile pound of buoyant 200-pound test. I think it's like 300 and some change US dollars.
Well, for $100, I can get the what you call it, the 5,000 yard spools. But that's only like 12 pound. But in my test, I couldn't determine whether the 50 pound or the 80 pound worked better than the 15 pound. The flexible lines.
The higher the test is, the stronger you're going to be able to pull it. You're going to want to be able to pull it as strong as possible.
But the less flexible it is, it's less flexible. It seems to be and heavier. They're pretty damn close, man. It was pretty damn close, Jeremy. I'll redo it and measure just to see for sure, because I have the short. Yeah, good.
I was gonna say, go get a spool of that 1 mile. It's 200-pound test for a mile. It's like $300. If you get that underwater and it floats, you pull it tight with a winch between 2 bodies, get it to stay underwater, and you can measure it that way due to the buoyancy, or you can try to measure it on top and see if it pulls under. You could even go in the middle and try to pull it under a little bit and see if it stays, breaking the surface tension. There's a lot of stuff you could do with that 1 mile spool. You're only measuring a 2-inch sagittus, so that's not a lot of wiggle room. But
hey, hear me out on this trench thing. So this 3 mile trench.
God.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, you use the line, right? Like you guys are talking about. You fill the trench with water. You put the line on the top. On the ball earth, when you pull it along the surface here and pull it along the surface here, it has to go underwater. On here, it can't go underwater, right? It'll never go underwater.
So okay, yeah. So you want to do it with a trench? The string line test, like with a trench?
Yeah.
That's way more feasible. I'd dig a half mile myself, so that means I'd need.
How does the cord help us?
Because it can only go in each direction. On the flat Earth, it can't go down. It cannot go down. And on the round Earth, it has to go down.
You've got to find somewhere that's perfectly flat, though, to dig your trench.
No, you just need to know you just need to know how deep to dig it. As long as you dig the sagittal under the lowest elevation area along your line, you calculate it from that using the water level and do it at each point out from the middle. You're fine.
So in other words, the more unlevel the land, the more digging we'd have to do. So we'd want to try and find something as flat as we possibly could. But yeah, he's right, Brian.
Yeah, if you look in the text, I've put elevation chart of the Bonneville Salt Flats, and that goes up and down like a fiddler's elbow.
Yeah.
You do this right on the beach. Any body of water has the same elevation where the water touches. The elevation, wherever water touches, the elevation on the land is going to be exactly the same all around. It can't change because as long as it's touching the water, the elevation at that point where it touches the water is the same.
What you're saying, Jeremy,
Because
the
the water's
water
allowed-
lies flat.
Yeah,
Yeah, even on the globe model though, it's the elevation that has to be the same. Like both models,
It has to be, right? Because otherwise the water wouldn't be there.
yeah,
Right?
both models, the elevation is the same.
Yeah.
So that's where you get your, flat quote, level land from.
Hey, I thought of one more idea. Let me get it out before I forget it. What if you did the trench thing, right? And then you put something on, Jeremy, this is kind of an idea you had before. You put something on top of the water that you can harden somehow, right? And then you let the water out. Is there any way that you could measure the shape after you let the water out? Like,
Are you saying,
so
we've
you
got
use
our,
like a lightweight material on top of the water. That's where you would know to put the material, and then it would harden somehow, and then you could tip that over or something.
It wouldn't have any rigidity in it, though, would it?
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know.
and then if you let it sink, you'd measure.
We could absolutely do that, but we need a shitload of money. It'd be probably a couple $100,000 to get a material that didn't bend at all.
Yeah.
And concrete's just too damn heavy, man. The more and more I think about it, we'd have to build it we'd have to do, like he's saying, round the bottom or trying, like a diamond shape. We'd have to do it small with a hell of a lot of reinforcement. It'd be a feat, but it wouldn't be impossible.
Yeah, if you think about the big corporations like Colgate or Kellogg's, or Universal Studios, they've got the money to do it, and they could make a theme park out of it to prove that the Earth is a globe. That they could do that for us.
Maybe we should put a pitch together for and take it to Disney.
Yeah, Disney could prove that the Earth is a globe or whether it's flat.
I had
a theme park out of it.
I had an idea to just hire, this isn't my own personal idea. I got this from somewhere else, but to just hire a surveyor to make us a horizontal line. He's obviously going to do it optically, but do these guys not trust their own people, or?
We need to give him a few $1 million though to do it.
You think so?
Yeah, I would think so. If we're going to extend it to maybe 3 or 6 miles, like the Bedford level experiment that we're still arguing about, 6 miles would be a good stretch to either dig a trench or.
Yeah, 6 miles, everything would be apparent, man. Even at least 3, I think. But man, it's crazy. I want to see a cord, one way or another, whatever we're standing on. I want to see a cord, whether it be on land, and they can't prove it's a globe until they achieve that, man. That's what we're working on.
The problem with the cord is, let's say we get in a cord, we dig this cord out, and now we got the cord, and now we look from each edge of it, or from the middle, or whatever. We see that it looks like the flat Earth. It's rising up. It's not a straight line going straight across. They're going to just say looming.
Well, that's where we would use the buoyancy if it was resting on water at both ends.
Did anybody see Gary Wabenga's video today?
No.
Okay, he did one, just a short 2-minute video and his channel name is Gary Wabenga, Wypanga. But so it was a short little 2-minute video, and it's showing how perspective works. He's over a fence, and he's looking at some trees that are just way off in the distance, barely up over the fence, and he starts backing up, and you see the trees. He's still above the fence, but as he goes back further, the trees start sinking down beneath the top hole of the gate.
Link that to us.
So the point is of all that is what
Where
these
is this
people
video?
It's the channel is called Gary Wabenga.
Hold on, I'll bring it up.
I will try and link it. Let me say one other thing. The point is, when we're debating this, they need to understand that the way the sun sets and the way things sometimes appear lower in the distance that are actually level is because light is doing something. Okay, whether it's miraging, refracting, whatever you want to call it, the light's doing something, and it's not 100% consistent, which to me agrees with reality, and they have trouble even fathoming that because the sun's got to set somehow, right? Over a flat plane.
The problem is that both sides are using long distance photography, that depends on light going from maybe 30 miles to your camera, and both sides are saying, well, see, there you go, you've got a curve, or there you go, you've got flat, and we need to make it physical.
Right.
Let's have a look at this video real quick with the trees and the fence.
Whether it's a fishing line or a handrail or something that's concrete and physical, that we can say, yeah, it's definitely curved, or yes, it's definitely flat.
Agreed. Just how do
I'm
we
gonna
do
post
that,
it.
Mark? That's the, obviously the problem.
We need $100 million
Okay.
and a committee to decide how we're going to work this out.
What's the next big
Well,
stock
if we had
that's
millions of dollars,
going to go up to 5,000%? That's what we need to figure out.
If we had that much money, there'd be a lot of more stuff we could do. We could just bombard Antarctica with drones or something.
Just start
You know what
sending
I mean?
thousands of drones.
Yeah.
down there.
We wouldn't even need you wouldn't even need permission. Don't even ask permission. Just go do it and bombard them. That way they can't get them all. You know what I'm saying?
But
Order some Predator drones from whoever builds those things. General Dynamics, I think, actually.
You have to start with, I'm not too sure whether it's flat or globe. You can't just say, I'm going to start with this.
Start from that. We're willing to start from that position. That's why we're looking for something definitive.
Yeah.
Brandon,
Yeah, Brian.
video I've posted in the chat. My drone sets 0 from wherever it takes off from. Now here I was flying on the top of quite a steep bank down a field. So I lowered my drone at the bottom of the field, and you'll see the height meter go into a minus situation.
Okay, so let me see here. Where's the height meter? Oh, right here, down at the right?
The altitude meter, yeah.
In the middle, okay. This one right here. So
It sets 0 from its takeoff point.
Yo, can you make a drone just fly straight? Say you had a day with no wind. Can you make a drone, not counting GPS or a gyroscope or anything? Can you say just fly straight and it goes straight?
I would say not. Without some sort of fixation, no, you can't.
Yeah. That would be something if we could. If there's anything that will work only straight, like that's all we need is something that will only work if it goes straight somehow.
It will go straight as an arrow following the GPS coordinates.
Yeah, but that's.
Sorry to interrupt. I just posted that video in general, guys.
Gary, video.
That's not true. If you have your drone in a gymnasium and there's no wind disturbance, and you have it like you can control it independent, it'll fly straight, no problem.
Like what you could lift your drone up and just hit the forward button and it just goes straight.
Drone,
it doesn't go up.
Your drone, you can fly it straight, absolutely, because the motion or the collision prevention for as far as the ground goes, you can fly it straight, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's it right there. Then let's get a drone, fly it straight, and we'll measure the water from the start to the end, and we'll see what's up.
He did say in a sports hall, mate.
That's because of no wind interference, right? Like if you have it, I forget the function. It's PAF or AF. I can't remember the function for the Inspire that I had, but I've flown it in my apartment and inside a building. Aero, nothing to do with GPS, nothing to do with Earth curve. The purpose of the drone is to fly in a straight path in 3D space.
Yeah, well, that's it right there. Then that's all we need is one of these drones. We'll fly it straight over a body of water and just measure the distance.
It's even simpler than that. All you do is download a photo, because I wanted to do it with my drone, which is photogrammetry, but they want, and you can actually go and do it in square sections if you want, and then
you don't have to go high. You don't have to go high for this.
So no, not at all.
Inches over the water.
Not at all. But the point is you can take sections of land in little square sections and put it together in form of photogrammetry, and it'll highlight exactly what Google Earth has for you. So if you were to use elevation data, it would match your observation. So for instance, I live in British Columbia here. I've flown over the lake, Cultus Lake here, and looked at the elevation data that's in Google Earth. It matches my observation when I fly my drone over. In other words, if I mapped it out from point to point, and kept one consistent height, all my photographs would match my flight data, my height, elevation, so forth. Yeah.
Data, do you understand what I'm saying though? We fly the drone straight over water. It only needs to be a foot or 2 foot above it. And then we measure the start point to the end point. And if the drone's going straight and it's a globe, there should be a vast difference at the end point from the start point above the water. You feel me?
How do we know it's straight though? I mean, how do we, we have to
I don't
rely
know.
on it.
So here's the thing: the distance with collision interference. Like you got a couple of ways that the drone can determine its height, right? Commercial drone or average drone supposedly uses GPS. According to some, is a barometric device inside the drone, which I haven't looked at all the pieces, but I just know from personal use and photogrammetry and using the device, it does it in square sections. And into those square sections, you're not telling me the drone is not adjusting for Earth curve. It's not thinking of Earth curve. It's just in 3D space, horizontal. So if you're moving horizontal in 3D space and keeping your relative height distance, everything's still in square sections. So it doesn't matter if you're an inch above, an inch higher, or a foot higher. It's still in square sections.
How do we know it's going straight?
Flat Earth data.
Because the data says elevate a foot higher or a foot lower based on wind, right? For the inaccuracy of it, but that's not going to change your overall square sections of the land, especially if you have the camera pointing downward. The camera itself is going to capture square pieces.
Flat Earth data. I hear what you're saying, and could you play devil's advocate and imagine what Rumpus would say to your argument?
Well, they would tell me that the gyro corrects itself for Earth curve. That's what they would tell me. But I know from how the gyro works, the basic fundamental principle of a gyro, it creates its own rigidity in space via an angle momentum. There's no acting force on it. That's what makes it very important. It's independent of any acting force. It creates its own rigidity. So that's why you put anything over top of that rigidity, you can detect its pitch. So that fundamental principle is irrelevant of the shape of the Earth. So I know.
Yeah. So in other words, they'll say that they'll try to say the gyroscope is or the what you call it, the laser gyroscope is shifting 15 degrees an hour, but at a faster speed going over flat land, it's not, and that's bullshit. But here's another thing: I almost posted a video with a plane breaking like 1 or 2 times the speed of sound barrier and keeping a height over the water. It just flies by just like, and that made me think of the SR-71 when they hit their top speeds. They say they can't turn. That's in a straight line. It's top speed. The plane will even hold itself.
Yeah, the SR-71. It's called the LA Speed Story, and it's basically a testimony from the pilot himself of the one of the last flights of the SR-71 where they reached 80,000 feet. It's called the LA Speed Story. You should check it out. But he tells you that he says all my instruments were level and it was like flying on a sheet of glass.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I see it here in the in YouTube.
These guys say glass is curved, just for the record.
Yeah, I understand that, but we don't see glass that way. You may say it's that way. We see glass as flat.
I agree, but
like objective reality, glass is flat. So the implications when he says all the instruments are level, or I can't remember the exact words, but all the instruments are flat, whatever, and it's like flying on glass. So he didn't say flat. I think he said level. I can't remember.
In the chat there, Brandon, is a high precision variometer that I've attached to a separate drone, and it shows just putting it on there from the top of the table to the bottom, 2.7 feet, I think, drop.
It shows from just doing what? Sorry.
Just taking it off the top of the table and putting it on the floor. It measures it because it sends a signal through telemetry back to the transmitter, and it tells you how high your aircraft is, and it's high precision. And if you just watch that, it shows you a 2.7 feet drop as I put it off the top of the table to the floor.
Oh yeah, okay. All right. So it just
You should take it into a small room, like.
And what's it do? What's it show when you fly it, Brian?
Whatever altitude you're at.
How does it determine the altitude? I mean, what's the mechanism?
It's from air pressure.
Air pressure. Okay. Esteban Elabaca, 80,000 feet. What was that plane pushing off? And we had another one from Taking Back Eden, FE. Thank you very much. Thanks, Esteban. I don't know what the plane was pushing off, by the way. Put the money where the fingers are. Put the money. Taking Back Eden, FE. Put the money where the fingers are. Thank you very much. My fingers are on my mouse, though I'm not sure. He might be referring to the fact that
if you don't have any more
internet gremlins are back. What's up?
I was going to say, to answer Elabaca's question, like, we don't all claim that when we're talking about rockets pushing off air, okay, there could be rockets, but if there is, then I claim there's air up there, and I demonstrate that with the balloons losing pressure in the liquid nitrogen where it gets super cold up there. The air's still there to push off of, and so it might not be as much. It might be a lower pressure, whatever, however you want to call it, but it's still there, and so that's what the plane's pushing off of, and at a certain altitude, we'll just hit a point where I don't know. It's not as easy as they make it out to be, in my opinion. I don't think it's a vacuum up there.
Well, it's not in contention that planes can't fly, super high, right?
There's a limit.
There's a limit. Yeah. That's not in contention, is it?
No, and the air, the pressure, and the temperature are wholly dependent on each other. So if you take the same amount of air and you cool it down cold enough, it just like the balloon, and put it in a balloon, it just deflates. You warm it back up, it inflates. The air's still there. So I just think maybe the temperatures get too low up there. I have no reason to disbelieve the amateurs flying up there with gauges showing the temperature continually getting colder. And if they say it's like 2,000 degrees in the thermosphere, or what they call it, then how could they determine that when nothing gets 2,000 degrees? If nothing is reaching the temperature they claim, then that would mean it's cold, right? It's tricky, man.
Yeah, I get you. Okay. All right. Well, we got to keep thinking of ideas. Everybody seems to be thinking of ideas for experiments. I think it's fantastic that everybody's putting in the effort. I don't know that we have one that I'm totally excited about yet. But I still feel like there's got to be a way of physically showing the curvature or that it's flat without optics, long-range optics.
We need to either find something that only moves in a straight line. That could be one way, right? Anything that'll only move in a straight line, and we got it.
Why do you say that? Why?
Oh, me?
Yeah, why would we have to fly in a straight line?
Well, that would if we knew we were flying in a straight line, then we could measure the water underneath after a flight.
Yeah, but it's just from point to point, from where you take off to where you land.
We agree with all that. We're just trying to find a way to prove that good enough for them, right?
Yeah. If you can fly a drone in a straight line, we can measure how high we are from the start of it, and then when we end, we'll measure how high we are off the water. And if it's flat, it'll be the same, and if it's curved, it'll be fucking way different.
Well, what I was going to plan was like take off the water on a sheet of polystyrene, styrofoam, I think you call it, and then go and land 6 miles further away, again on the same surface of the body, same body of water on a sheet of styrofoam.
Sure. Do you know the drone's only flying in a straight line and not going off of the land under it, or it can't have anything to do with the land underneath it.
It doesn't matter, mate. You pick a point when you take off. In that drone anyway, it zeroes its altimeter. So wherever you land, it is going to give your elevation change from that point that you took off from. So if the water is lower than where you took off from, it will show as a minus.
All right. How does the drone make sure it flies in a straight line off a gyroscope?
Yeah, you can do it on a weigh mission, and you just set points where it's to fly to.
Yeah. Are we gonna have any issues with the gyroscope, Brandon? You think, or?
No,
I don't think so.
It doesn't matter because you're taking off at a point and setting your baseline, which will be 0. You'll fly as far as you can, wherever your battery will take you, and land on the same body of water. And then all you need do is calculate the distance from your takeoff point to your landing point, work into that the curvature calculator, and then it should be lower than when you took off, if there's a curvature.
There's a problem. If we use a gyroscope, they're going to say that to get 1 degree, you got to go 69 miles. So it'd have to be a really sensitive gyroscope if we use a drone. I'm not
measuring the degrees. But we're measuring the height of the drone over the water and the takeoff spot and the landing spot.
It measures in meters, not degrees.
Oh, good.
Yeah, all we're trying to do is have the drone fly in a straight line, and then you can measure the distance from when it took off. You know, say you do it 5 feet above the water. And then the end point, it should end up 5 times, plus whatever the curve calculator says.
Yeah, and if you've seen that first video I posted, I flew down a hill, and as I dropped the drone down, the altimeter went into a minus reading. So if I'd have landed down there, it would have been 8 or maybe 9 meters lower than where it took off from. So if we'd have flown over a curve, then it would show from where I took off to where I land would be lower.
Yeah, but they're not going to register that as below altitude. Even if Earth's curved, it's going to read the same altitude at sea level. You know what I mean?
You're breaking up pretty bad.
Like, dang, yeah.
Drop out, come back in.
That just bothers the shit out of me, man, when they're talking about, we've come up with these ways to try and prove it, and then we do long distance, and we get a comment like we'd see our own ass in the telescope if we could see far enough. That's bullshit, man. That's almost disheartening when you're trying to come up with these tests, when you hear crap like that.
Yeah, because it's unfalsifiable, right? It's just impossible.
Right, it's absolutely ludicrous what they're saying.
Yeah, I agree.
I argued the shit out of Rumpus about the Cartesian grid that the GPS works. And he said, yeah, it's a box grid. I said, how do you put boxes on a curved surface? You can't, it's impossible.
Yeah, because the tops have to
I've
be
seen a
bigger
couple
than
videos.
the bottoms. Yeah.
I've seen a couple videos where the laser like that, not the last one, but the one before last on Taboo Conspiracy 3's channel or 2, where it showed the 11-mile laser, and from a slightly orthographic view, like or kind of a 45-degree angle, and I've seen a test before where you look kind of from the side, not directly from the side. They both showed these lasers curving up at the end, starting to curve up, and that would match perfectly what the science says. If the light is over a distance curving up, shit would appear lower in the distance, and it would be scalable. I mean, not necessarily scalable due to refraction, but it would be noticeable and chartable at least. That at a certain point, the light starts bending down, depending on the light. You know, if the rays are bending upwards, then we'd be seeing shit lower. That's trying to agree with them and make sense of what science is telling us. Brian, it doesn't dispute science. I think our model doesn't dispute science.
Brian, yeah, I agree with you, but this, you see this cross here? That's a car right there in the parking lot down here. This white cross with these teardrops on it next to this freeway, that's the hidden height. That's how much that fucking laser was supposed to go over the curve. And then when you look at a picture of it, it looks straight as can be. Yet we're going to sit here and believe that this thing is curving around a ball. Why isn't
Thanks for grounding me, bro. I forgot. Yeah. When you put it in common sense, that's why. Thanks for grounding me, dude. Because when you look at it through your common sense eyes, or seeing your ass in the telescope, that's borderline retarded, if not full blown retarded. Sorry.
Right? Yeah.
No, it is.
I'm just saying, it's easy to forget.
Pretty mentally retarded.
We never experience any of this crap they tell us is going on. I don't know.
The plan was I was going to do this drone test alongside Bev's test with his water level and setting a level with his his auto level. So we were going to sort of collate them all together and compare what findings we get.
That's a great idea, bro.
For sure.
Can you hear me now?
I think so. What's up, Howard?
Yeah, what I was talking about, Brian May.
Oh, now you're
cutting out.
You're cutting out.
Your altimeter from say a 50-foot hill.
No good. Sorry, man.
Okay.
Still botting, mate.
Bob, do you want to share any of the ideas that you came up with that we talked about? What was it, Saturday night or Sunday night? One of those nights?
Yeah, give me like 5-10 minutes so I can finish this match, and then I'll do that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Well, let's move on. Unless anybody has any great idea, let's make fun of NASA for a while. You guys want to do that?
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, to put this one to rest. To put this one to rest, let me put it to rest with this. Okay, if we take just a body of water, okay, and we assume one way or another, we assume that it's a curve, and we hold up the same height, okay, the same height above the water level or the body of water, and we pull angles down to that water, the one in the middle should not match the one at the end. So that'd be another way of doing it, is measuring angles. If we just pulled a 45 from the top of the pole above the water down to the water, the angles should be off a little bit. I have to put that, but yeah, I just wanted to put that to bed. Just something for everybody to think about later.
Yeah, I'd still like to see a diagram on that, but yeah, I'll think about that one, Brian. Okay, so Chad Preston, I don't know if you guys are subscribed. He doesn't have many subscribers, 160 right now, but he puts out some pretty interesting videos. You should check him out. Here, I'll put it in the chat. So go and subscribe to him, and then come back.
Which chat you putting it in?
I'm going to put it in YouTube. I'm going to put them in both chats. So here's this one in the Discord chat, and I put it in the YouTube chat. So subscribe to Chad. Let's see how many subscribers we can get him. So he put out a video on stop motion animation revealed 1965 NASA busted, he called it. And he goes over the Gemini space program, the first spacewalk. Have you guys ever watched this footage of the first supposed spacewalk?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is good stuff here. And I thought it was really interesting. And I guess my question is, does this look like stop motion footage?
Are you presenting this on Discord?
Yeah,
Are you presenting this on Discord?
Am I?
No, I've got the level. I got your bullshit cord thing going.
Oh, I'm still sharing that. All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now it should be.
There we go. There we go.
All right, cool. So you didn't really miss anything. They just took the rocket up and they looked out the window and Earth and talking a bunch of crap. So he's telling his story, and then they're going to show this spacewalk. Let me skip forward a little bit here. So here he goes.
Is this the one where the guy's helmet turns?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen this one.
You've seen this one? Okay.
This,
yeah, probably a lot of people have seen it because it is pretty famous footage. But
What's making that string blow? Hold on. What's making that string blow right there? Look at how the string's breezing all over the place. Why?
Solar wind.
The fuck out of here. This is
Wind in a vacuum.
Yep.
I mean, that string's blowing wild all over the place. They got some kind of air ejecting out the capsule or something. I can't wait to hear this one. But anyways, go ahead.
Look at how this guy's moving around and twitching and stuff. I don't know. It does look like stop motion, but at the same time, I think they said they filmed it in 6 frames per second, so it should look a little choppier. But this crap just looks really choppy. It looks exactly like stop motion animation that I've seen.
That suit, the suit doesn't even look pressurized. First of all,
see how he's all twitching? Why is he twitching like that? Why is he like? It's like his body's twitching.
Well, the helmets don't turn for a start off. They're affixed to the chest and the back.
That's one thing Chad mentions in here too. He says, note the smooth movement of the Earth's rotation compared to the stop motion of the astronaut. If you watch the Earth move in the background, or what's supposed to be the Earth, it moves in a really weird pattern too. It like swirls. I don't know if that's because of the camera, or I mean, I think they're faking it, but they could say it's because of the camera.
it's because of the fakery. Yes.
Yeah, the fakery is the root cause for sure. And then he did this little weird, like, what is that called? God, I was in the military too. Salute.
Yeah, there's his helmet turning.
Yeah, so he kind of looks off to the left, right?
So what did
guys
NASA
notice
say?
the
Those
camera?
helmets are supposed to turn, or I mean, NASA had to
guys-
come out and say, yeah, the helmets can turn. After that,
You would
Did you
think.
guys
so.
notice the camera?
What about What
No.
about it?
It's not this one. Check out the camera on his chest. It's like off the shelf camera. Is this the first spacewalk?
Yeah, first spacewalk. You've seen this before?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
I couldn't find any, and I researched the camera. I couldn't find any modifications they did to it.
Let me see if I can go back to it and find. Oh, there it is. That thing right there, that's a camera?
Yep. That thing right there, it's attached to a jetpack. That you see those 2 tubes on the bottom there? That maneuvers them around.
Ah, okay.
And that camera is off-the-shelf camera, as far as I know.
I question these clouds. These clouds look closer to me too. It doesn't look 350
they look more
feet
fucking.
away. 250
more
miles away or
fucking-
whatever they are.
They look more realistic than the Indian one,
They do look more
Oh, yeah.
realistic than that. Yeah, for sure.
as far as far away, being far away or whatever. But yeah.
I'd like to know how that camera functioned.
There he is, twitching around again.
What do you think it does?
Twitch. I don't know. Pretty shifty
Just
here.
lost the glove. Damn.
Yeah, the glove fell out. How did the glove fall out?
That's a good question.
Someone put the top down. They wanted
I
to
hope
get
it
some
wasn't
fresh
his
air.
glove.
He says in here he didn't even know whose glove it was. See how he's twitching? Twitch. Here goes the glove. I don't know.
Yeah, this is stop motion trickery.
And notice how his feet is like following like a platform, like if he was on a surfboard or something.
Or
How do
like
you
in
lose
a
a
pool
glove?
or something.
Ooh,
Maybe
did
like
you
in
see
a
that?
pool.
How do you just lose a glove? Somebody didn't need that.
I know. How
Did you
that
guys see
float
the
away?
shadow that thing was making?
You see his arm twitch there when he went by?
Something, maybe it wasn't a shadow, maybe it was a wire. I'm not sure, but it looks like
Twitch,
he might be
twitch.
trying to point it out.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad, right? So that one is nowhere near as bad as this next one. Let me stop that. Oh, there we go.
It gets worse.
Yeah, this is the first Russian spacewalk
Oh boy.
in
There we
1965. This is something special here.
There we go. I told you those other countries.
Oh yeah. You're gonna love this one. Now, mind you, this is the same year as the other one. NASA did it in 65 and Russia did it in 65.
Is this for real video? Or are you just...
No, this is the real one. This is the first Russian spacewalk here.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Well, on the left, it's like they had two cameras, evidently. A long shot of him coming out of the rocket or whatever. That's supposed to be Earth in the background. And then on the right, I guess you've got the close-up shot, and that's supposed to be Earth in the background.
The hand camera?
The hand camera. It's very important to see what his arm was doing.
Damn, Brandon. Russia is gangster. They probably took a few billion just to put like a little toy next to like a mattress and some effects, and that's it. At least the U.S., at least they go out of their way to try to fool us. You know what I'm saying? But this is some gangster ass shit, bro.
Like, yeah, let's see how bad we can make it.
This is, you have to believe it, comrade.
No doubt. They didn't really...
You would think if they were... You'd think if they were going to fake it, that they would make it look a lot better than that.
What's he got?
I think it doesn't work that way. I think the better quality they give us, the more we'll be able to pick things up. That's why I think they give us this such low quality.
Yeah.
With that stuff, they can just say, "Well, it was low tech. Of course, it's going to look dirty and muddy, and you can't hardly tell the details."
They still give us low
why they
quality
projected
shit, though.
the first moon landing onto a wall, and they had all the broadcast companies recorded off the wall.
Yep. Yeah, they got into a lot of trouble when they put out that good footage too. When they put out updated pictures.
Yeah.
Has he got laces in his boots?
He got on some Air Force Ones or some shit.
I don't know. I didn't notice.
Doesn't want to trip over all that space debris.
It's gonna go into color here in a minute. I don't know what he's doing, but
maybe.
Oh, they're gonna switch the color on?
Just for a minute. I don't know why. They just had a few color frames in there, but when he pushes back, he's gonna go into color. And then when he's flailing around, is pretty funny. Here it goes. There's the color. That's supposed to be Earth behind him.
Fucking terrible.
Look at Earth. It just looks. Oh, here we go.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
You can. It's like he's being lit up with a studio light or something.
Yeah,
maybe like
This is comical. This is comical. They didn't have a camera back then.
Earth looks weird, doesn't it?
We're laughing at this, but they're laughing at all the people that believe this shit.
Here he comes back. Yeah. Think they're doing this underwater? Or, this just looks like straight up stop animation, some of it. There it is. Why does Earth look so different now? Something changed?
The pool guy forgot to sweep the top of the pool.
Oh, he goes back again. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does this convince you now?
I mean, I'm pretty much a Glober after that. There was no denying it.
You notice the color comes in when they want to show the CCP.
Why would Russia lie to us?
Why would they lie?
See, he twitched too when he let off.
Do you know how many people? There would have to be billions of people in on this. Come on, guys.
Right. Yep.
I like the umbilical
Billions.
board.
You think there's some symbology there, Jimbo?
Like a baby floating in a womb. No kidding. No shit, Sherlock, eh?
Talk to chemo. Talk to chemo. We're about to have a globe abortion.
Globortion. Yeah, so that's that.
I think chemo's over on Jim getting a flatectomy.
Good one, left lane.
All right, I'm ready, Brandon.
Oh, you ready?
Flat
Do you
Earth
have
will get
anything
you
worse
everywhere
than
in the new
this?
world.
This is
Do you have
this
It's
is.
anything
gonna give
worse
you a
than that?
globortion after.
I mean, this is
Left
pretty
leg.
bad, Jeremy. I mean, come on, man. What do you want?
I was just wondering if you were like leading up to something absolute. I mean, that was insane. Yeah, I was just wondering what else you had.
No, like smoking gun. It's just like, look at how shitty this looks. That's pretty much all there is to this.
Still, the best thing I've seen is that fucking satellite into the cloud thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, go ahead, Bob.
That's,
Take it over.
All right, here I'll share my screen and you guys can look at the picture that I made up here. Let me know when you can see my awesome artistic skills on the screen or whatnot.
All right, click on your stream and I'll let you know. Good now.
All right. Okay, so my idea was, at least the one that I think is probably the best idea I've had so far, is we get a mile's worth basically or so of like PVC, like get it off some wholesaler site or like Alibaba or something, just get like a mile of it and set it up above the ground basically for a whole mile on, and we seal it off, okay, so that we can control the environment inside of the pipe. We put a high-powered laser on one end, and whenever we're setting it up, we start at like one level and calculate, accounting for Earth curve, the alleged Earth curve, for the whole mile, just in sections, making the pipe go basically up for the 8 inches per mile squared. We have this high-powered laser inside of this environment that we would control, so we wouldn't have to worry about the different weather effects and temperatures and things like that affecting how the light works. It should just go straight. And on the other end, we would have basically a camera environment and then manipulate the laser and manipulate the camera. And basically, if we adjusted for the Earth curve, and we can still, this camera should end up 8 inches, the pipe should end up going 8 inches upward. If there's any way that we can manipulate the laser and the camera so that the camera catches the laser, there's obviously no Earth curve there. Like, because we adjusted for it. Or wait, did I explain that right?
This actually
I might have said it the wrong way, but the idea is basically if the Earth is flat, we would have adjusted the pipe up, and there's no way we'll catch the laser, basically. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the pipe would have gone up. Whereas if we're adjusting for Earth curve, and the Earth is curved, the laser will hit, basically. Do you see what I'm saying?
Let me see if I can summarize this. We make Brandon's cord. We lay the pipe in it so that the pipe's all in a straight line according to the globe rules. Then we put
Brandon said this. My idea was that we build it basically just above the ground, just making sure that we take into account the Earth curve, or like you don't have to. It doesn't matter either way. You don't have to take into account the Earth curve, or you can take it into account. It's just going to be that's just going to determine how you determine which way it goes. So if you don't take it into account and you can find the laser, that means that the Earth isn't curved because you didn't have to account for the curve and the laser still went straight into the camera. So obviously no curve. If you account for the curve and you can't find the laser, then the Earth isn't curved because you accounted for it and you still can't find the laser.
So you're saying you make the pipe every piece level according to water. And then I like the idea of making Brandon's cord and doing this because they should have a flat line and we should be able to see the laser. Now, if there's no weird fucking optical effects happening inside this tube, you could you could put the pipe down and then put the sand back over it.
Yeah, as long as you can manipulate the laser and the camera to get them at proper angles, then it should be fine. And then you would want to control the environment inside the pipe, make sure it's sealed off. So you can control the environment so you don't have them coming back and saying, well, the the temperature was, super high in the pipe, and so it refraction, or some bull crap like that.
Yeah. We're still right back to optical shit.
Well,
You're still lagging.
Creating real life on a smaller scale. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, you're good. Nah, you were kind of lagging it then.
well, isn't this
Who was that?
essentially Bob
Leaky?
is essentially suggesting that we make our own LIGO, isn't he? That was my point.
Without the vacuum, kind of, yeah.
I mean,
Hey, did y'all hear me? I just wanted to say real quick. I'm making my demonstration so y'all can see it optically to see whether it makes sense to y'all or not. I'll be done in about 20 minutes.
okay.
No rush, but we're gonna need that in 5 minutes.
What about the one, Bob, where you we're going to have the line, you were going to purposely build it to follow the curve. Do you think that one's worth talking about or no?
The string one?
Yeah, like to cancel out curvature if it was there, and then if it was
I like that one.
yeah, that wasn't too bad. It's optical, but I liked it too.
Yeah, you make the string straight.
I can bring that up.
Oh God, I'll let him present it.
I'll go back into my screen and.
I mean, I get no credit for this one, but whatever.
Okay, let's see here. Open. What do we got? I don't even know where it is.
Hey, anybody
What's going on?
participating in this think tank, whoever comes up with the ultimate solution, if one of us do, we all get some credit. It's just this
No,
think tank
fuck
alone,
that.
guys.
Fuck that.
You think they're gonna?
We're not in it for the money. I like the string one. This was neat. It's optical still, but
Oh, are you presenting, Bob? There we go.
Okay, yeah, can you guys see it?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay,
I would
so
suggest if you proved Earth was flat with whatever y'all do, there will be money.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need to get a piece of that because I put a lot
I don't
of
know.
work
I
into
don't know
this.
why there would be money. Like you can't monetize the fact that the Earth is what it is.
I don't want money. I just want people to
That would be
worship
like
me as a god.
That would be like
no money.
identifying that a rock is indeed a
nothing-
rock and then
nothing
getting
big.
paid for it. Like, I guess maybe if you went for grants, maybe you would get grants to do more research on other stuff. Anyway, so the idea with this one would be, you would take posts and you would adjust for, if I remember correctly, you would adjust for the Earth curve along the posts, like putting the string where it should be to keep it level. So you would adjust for the 8 inches per mile square, and then you would look at it from the side, and you could have two of them set up right next to each other, go out like 2 miles. And if you adjust for the Earth curve and you look at it from the side and it looks like this top one here, that means there is an Earth curve, because instead of making a straight line, you made it go up. So you would be putting these posts in such a way that the string should stay straight, because you're following.
We're gonna make two strings.
You're just gonna make it level. Just make it level.
Don't use the word level. It's confusing people.
Well, whenever you look at it from the side, basically, you should see both results. So whenever you adjust for the Earth curve, if you end up with this right over here on the right side, then there was no curve, because you adjusted for the curve and it went up instead of staying just straight across.
This is one case. This is the one case where you would want to make your chord. You wouldn't want to start in the middle. You'd want to start your chord on an end.
Right.
And then go up from there.
That's what I was thinking, was start on an end.
Yeah. This is the one case where I would say that's okay if we're not doing the level in the middle. In fact, you'd want it like that for this, because you'd want to see that way both visual effects weren't happening on both ends. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and then you get
if you have some kind of weird visual effect,
get the full 6 feet. You know,
if there's some weird visual effect, happening when you looked at both ends, it would be something would be off. You know what I mean?
Right. So like basically what's nice about this is that if you look at it from the side, from a distance away, and they're going to claim refraction, well, guess what? Basically, it would have to do the same thing to both sides because according to their math, you made a straight line, not a curved one. Okay.
Yeah, this is the one time I'd be okay with not having the level be in the middle of it. Yeah, absolutely.
It would have to have that visual effect on both sides. If it doesn't have the visual effect on both sides, it can't be a visual effect that's making the thing curve up.
Yeah, this is fucking good right here. I like this.
That there is no earth curve.
One thing I thought
How
of
do you
was
guys feel?
how far away from the thing do you have to be in order to see this curve? Like, how far away would you have to be to see a 3 mile long structure?
Well, if you only go 2 miles, then you still get 32 inches, so right around 2 feet 8 inches of string being up. So what we need is a high-powered camera to look
He's
at
saying
it.
how far away do you have to get from it to get the whole thing in one shot?
That I don't know.
Well, that's some easy math. Go ahead, crunch those numbers for us, Brandon. Do your little triangle thing.
Well,
you wouldn't have to. Okay, so you wouldn't necessarily have to look at the whole thing all at once. You could set up the camera
to swivel,
to pan across it at the same exact level. Set it up so it doesn't change level at all, and as it sweeps across it, if the string goes up and out of the camera's vision, there it is. It's that simple.
So we could
I
use
like
that.
it. How do you guys
maybe
feel
that
about this?
photogrammetry.
How do you feel about this, Brandon?
I mean, it's easy. It would be easier to do for sure, right? Because all you'd need is a water level and a freaking ribbon that you could see at 3 miles away, and you don't have to. We're not relying on getting it exactly perfectly straight because we're trying to make a curve anyway.
You don't even need a water level. You could do this right over water, posting water.
You could do it with like something that you can like just hang little lights on and do it at night. Have it set up so that, and then when night comes, it's all set up. You plug it in, so the whole line lights up, and then it might be even easier to see from a distance away, watching the line of lights. You can buy even LED. That might be a little bit expensive, but you wouldn't necessarily have to buy a whole rope of them. But the idea is basically do it so that you're ready by nighttime and have lights along it so that you can see the lights either stay straight or they start to bend upward. And if they don't bend upward on both sides, then it's not a visual effect that's making it curve or loom up or whatever.
I'm not gonna lie, I really like this. For an optical thing, this is one of the best things we could do because you'd have, like he said, you'd have to have both of those visual effects happening on the same side. This would just happen on one side.
Exactly.
Well,
which is why this is the one case where
for you. You know how we're always looking across the y-axis out into the distance, and we can measure curvature apparently, right? But yet on the y-axis, there's no curvature to be found. Well, you could look at a y-axis structure like a mountain plane from point A to point B, let's say, the base of it. There's not going to be any dip or drop.
Right.
But yet you can only measure it on the y-axis. So it's sort of redundant. You have flat Earth evidence in front of you because you can't translate it on the x-axis, but it's only translatable on the y-axis. It doesn't make sense. It's not what we observe. We observe perspective on the y-axis, which is conflated as Earth curve in their calculations. That's why there's no angular resolution in it.
Yeah.
But along the y-axis, you apply the same principle. There's no dip or no drop. It's really just that simple.
What do you think about this line thing, Brandon? I like this.
You have to take the pictures in sections because you need to be, for each section you take the picture, you need to be roughly the same distance from the line. So you'd have to take a bunch of pictures down it and then somehow, be able to plop them together.
Why not just do a video that scans from left to right?
Yeah, how far do we have to be to get the whole thing in one shot?
I don't know, but the problem with that is then you have a longer distance to each end. Let's say you're in the middle of it 5 miles away or whatever, right? And you got the whole thing in your sights. It's longer to the right side of it and it's longer to the left side of it than it is straight ahead. And that's naturally, because of perspective, going to make it look like it's going to curve. A straight line is going to curve if it goes across your vision like that.
Yeah, but this would be absolutely apparent because one side is going to be higher than the other one.
Right. So basically, unless it's that's only a problem if it curves both. And it's not even a problem. It's just the result. Then, if it curves both of them the exact same amount, then we know that we're looking at it doesn't seem like it's flat because we adjusted for Earth curve, and they're both curving at exactly the same amount. So something's up. Whereas if they're both curved, but one is curved more, then what we have is visual effect plus no Earth curve.
That's why this is the one good way where I wouldn't suggest starting from level in the middle. You want to start on the left end, just like he's got it in the picture. I don't know. I think this is good for an optical thing. It's not a tangible thing, but I think the one on the bottom, the flat one, we'd see the same visual effect happening, whether it looks like it's dropping, going up, whatever. You'd see it at both ends. But the one on the top, you shouldn't get that same visual. If it's a flat line, a flat straight line, you shouldn't get that effect on both sides.
Let me share my screen because I want to make my point. I'm not sure you guys understood it. What my point was with taking the picture.
Get out of here.
No, I like this idea too, as far as optical things. Obviously, we've been trying to think of a physical one, but as far as optical goes, this seems pretty good. So if we are looking at our line, here's our line. I'll make it red. Can you guys see it? Okay, here's our line. And we're down here, like 3 miles away, right? And we're looking at this end, and we're looking at this, and we're taking a picture, right? And we've got our camera pointed in the middle here. These are obviously going to be longer, the distance to these, than here, right? This is going to be shorter.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, because
here's what's going
to happen. This is going to make it curve because of perspective. So we'd see that as some kind of, we'd see these sides because they're farther away, we'd see them curve down slightly. So the line should naturally look like, say, the top of this, right? Because this will be farther away, so it'd be lower down in our vision, closer to the horizon, and the center would be closer to us, so it'd be higher. So it'd look like a frowny face.
All right, let me explain though. The thing is that if you have the flat line, the line that's flat, it's going to look the same on both sides, given no crazy refraction instances are happening on one side of the line and not the other. Whereas the one that's hooking up, it's not going to appear, and you're not going to have the same optical effects on either side. I think this is the one where you optically can tell for sure if you have a straight line or not.
Wait, say that again though. How do you get over this piece of the optics though? The perspective impacting it.
Okay, if it's the flat line it's going to look the same. It's either going to curve down or look flat or curve up on both ends.
Right.
The one that's curving crazy on one end isn't going to have. You're not going to have that same optical effect on both ends.
Yeah,
right.
You're going to have a differential. So this one, because it's curved up, would either look straight. You wouldn't have the same.
It's going to be a wildly different. It's going to be a wildly different optical effect on the right side of the line than the left side of the line. So something's going to be vastly different.
It could look
on the straight line compared to the curved line.
It could look something like this. Since this side's curving up, this side could be flat or less curved, and this side would definitely be curved because it's further away from you and it's going down, right?
I feel like this is going to be the. My bad. Go ahead, Bob.
If you have this, okay, so if you have both lines, one of them, so we'll just take it from the perspective of, okay, we are on a flat plane, okay? So we have the one string that we just measured level, and that's it. That's all we did. We just made sure it was straight, okay, according to what we would normally expect from someone building a house or whatever. We make sure it's level all the way across, okay? That's one string. We expect that to be straight because we're on a flat plane, so it'll be straight. Okay. The second one that we'll have will be flat and straight and level according to Globe Math, their model. And what will happen is if we are on a flat Earth,
shout out Godzilla, thank
one
you very
line
much.
will look straight unless there's an optical effect, in which case it will affect both sides equally. And the other line will look curved on one end unless there's an optical effect, in which case it'll look curved on both ends and super curved on one of them.
Yeah, my idea for this is you make the line on the same poles.
So you would essentially have, if you're on a flat plane with both of these out there, you'll have 3 sides that all look similar and one that looks really wonky.
Yeah, you make both your lines on the same poles. You set some poles out there. You make one line straight according to water. You go right off the water with one. We're saying that's flat. Then you do a line on top of it. You adjust for the curve. You say, all right, if I want to keep it flat on the globe, I got to lift it up 8 inches after a mile. And you do it like that. So you're going to have one hooking up and one's going to be straight.
I'm ready, y'all.
One of them can hold on, Brian. One of them in reality is only straight. And you're going to be able to visually tell it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty apparent.
Yeah. No, I get what you guys are saying, but and I agree with you. But what about if you did take multiple pictures and stitch them together? I'm just throwing this out there. So you just took a picture here, took a picture here, took a picture here, and just went down the line and took all these pictures from the same distance and then stitched them together.
No, I don't like that.
Why?
They do it all the time in construction. They already do it all the time in architecture.
Let me tell you why.
They already do it. It's already been done. You can go look at big, massive structures over a plane.
Yeah, we know it's already done. Why would we even do this then? The point is
because it would substantiate there's no curving Earth. It's just distance and elevation because that's what's documented.
All right.
We could do both.
And the reason why,
hey Jeremy, we could do both. You got this line set up. Why not just take the one picture and then take this picture?
Like, if you're gonna go out here,
you could do both
and do this thing.
The one you stitch together, though, they'll end up saying, "Oh, I would
it's
take
a composite image."
So, I would take multiple pictures and swivel a camera, but I would also try to get a few pictures. I would also try to get a few pictures from absolutely some glow in the dark spray paint, some lights, something. Yeah.
Wasn't there that thing they did in the desert for that show where they set up a solar system, and it was like,
yeah, National Geographic did it, and they basically, it's over a distance of 8 miles. There's no dip or no drop, no curve, nothing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they set up this solar system. I should be showing it now. Let me get to the part where he did it, because they did it at night too. Hopefully I can find it. They lit
and if you
it
go
up
look
at
at the topography data from Google Earth, that's a desert, man, right? So it's completely flat. So if you look at you'll only have distance and elevation data that matches that very image that you have there.
Here it is. Yeah, they did this at night.
I like
right?
this, Bob.
And the best
Bob,
part
you came
about
up
it
with
is
this all on your own.
And the best part about it is between the center of that position to the outer ring, it's 4 miles, or I think it's 4 miles, or something like that.
You and I were spitballing ideas that night, I think. I mean, we're just kind of talking back and forth, so I don't know if it was on my own. I've been listening to you guys chat and stuff, so.
Are you saying I get some credit for this, or?
I have no issue saying that the Ranty Toy Brandon show together collectively came up with an idea. I'm fine with that.
All right.
Okay. I got on screen. I don't know if y'all can see my screen here, but
yeah.
Tell me when y'all.
1 second, Brian.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you look at the center of that,
okay.
If you look at the center of that National Geographic solar.
Yeah.
The fence represents. I'm breaking up now, man. I think I'm just gonna make a quick video real quick and upload it. But if you can see and hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you now. We can't see your screen though. think. Oh, I see. We see you now.
Okay, what I have here is 3 stakes. One in the middle represents the hump. It's tied up to the top of the fence post. The top of the fence post represents the bulge in the middle. Now this one here is tied down some, right? So it represents the end. It's tied down where this one's tied up to the top. You see? Okay, now this one at this end is also tied down. Okay, I have the same length of string on each one. I got them all at a 45-degree angle. Okay?
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a body of water, like about 8 miles or so, and we're going to hold up about 20 feet in the air, a plumb bob, and at the top of that plumb bob, we're going to pull the same size lines. And if the one in the middle is bulging, okay, so the bottom is free space. The bottom doesn't matter. So look, they don't line up. The one that's bulging does not line up with the other two. You see, and it's even really worse than that. A little bit worse than that, but this is kind of stretch, but it's kind of foolproof if you think about it. Because at the bottom,
do you guys want a quick little observation just to show how you can match Google's elevation data?
Well,
I know what you're talking about. I showed a demonstration on my video with this exact same thing, talking about the 2 points on a sphere because of the angle difference. The length between the 2 points, if you use the string, would be longer, right? Did you see that video?
Well, check this out.
I just posted it like 2 days ago.
In this experiment, the bottom does not matter at all. The bottom represents free space. All we're using here is distance. So all the strings are the exact same length. And in reality, the one in the middle is actually a little bit longer. It would actually be a little shorter than I've even demonstrated. I measured them with my tape measure. It would actually be inset worse than that, but this is a kind of exaggerated demonstration. But it would be noticeable at 45 degrees, we have the same angle. Each one's the same angle, and where it winds up on the ground doesn't matter. It's not touching the ground. It represents the bottom of that string line represents free space. So however far that 10 foot or 20 foot in real life stretches at 45 degrees, that's where we stake it off. And then we see if these stakes line up. See if it's a globe, they won't line up. But on a flat earth, 20-foot string lines at 45 degrees, they'll all line up perfect. It's hard to get around.
How do you determine where the string goes, Brian?
The top of the water. Okay, we find a body of water that's calm. Okay.
Okay.
And if in the middle, it's higher, that's what's going to happen. Okay. No getting around it, because here I am demonstrating it. The one that's tied up higher, they're all the same angle. Okay, they're all the same angle. They're all the same length. Okay, if the one in the middle is higher, this is what will happen in reality. The one in the middle will be offset from the two ends. Understand?
Well, if you want to apply that theory in reality, you can also do that.
It's not a theory. I'm showing you right here.
Yeah, no, listen. So I demonstrated that exact example, except for it was just the 2 posts, not the third. And in between the positions of the sagitta, or the arc, pardon me, versus the cord, there is going to be a discrepancy in length. That's just what it is. So if you have a 3 mile,
that's why I'm having.
You're going to have a hard time doing that, just like I am going to have a hard time showing 2 plumb bobs that are diverging apart. Now, I
can't think of nothing easier, bro. I can't think of nothing easier than getting a pole 20 foot over the water in 3 spots at about 4 or 5 miles and pulling a 20-degree string at an angle. Okay, there's nothing tough about that. The tough part would be running a 3 or 4 mile string line to show that they're not lined up. See, I got a string line right here down at the bottom. Down at the bottom, that would be tough, but it'll probably show up visually. But you see, they don't line up. See the string line that I'm moving? Doesn't line up. And it would be pretty fucking simple. It'd be as simple as mounting 3 poles and measuring 3 45-degree angles. I mean.
I'll have to think about that one.
I was just thinking something Leaky just said. The lines Bob is talking about, the curved line would be longer, right? For this, could we measure the line? And
that's
Bob's
the test.
thing?
That's the
That's the
test.
whole point.
We're going to use all the same size strings, so we're not going to assume nothing, and we're not going to have a bottom or a top. The only thing we're measuring is the water. The bottom of the line represents free space. That's the only free space test I can come up with, without having to assume a flat or curved. This will test whether it is curved or not. I recommend we go further than short. I recommend we go at least 4 or 5 miles. But either way, we're still just mounting 3 posts. So.
Well, here's one I wanted to talk about is the elevation data and the distance data that you could do yourself. We could all mount a digital protractor to our vehicle and balance it out so it's 0. And as you moved across the road, let's say you went to Google Earth first and you picked a route, preferably, simple route. But it would show, it would show, let me finish. It would show.
Let me cut in because we're trying to avoid optical, bro. We're trying to
confirm this data yourself with a freaking protractor. In other words, a digital protractor. So let's say you set it and balanced it at your car and you moved along. That protractor would incline and decline based on the pitch of your vehicle along its path, thereby indicating elevation anyway, like angle elevation, not necessarily height, but it would show the angle elevation. From the distance to that angle elevation, you could calculate the slope. The point is that you could do it yourself. And here's another confirmation data that provides you consistent results that Google has, which you can do for yourself. It shows just an extended distance plane. There's only distance and elevation information, no curvature. The protractor doesn't pick it up for any position because there's a theoretical understanding that all plumb bobs are pointed at center of mass, which is nonsense. So you can confirm this yourself. Just a simple digital protractor, or even just a plumb bob in your car with a camera and monitoring where it goes, whether it's plus or minus elevation, right?
I feel you. That's another good thing about my test, though, because you can even angle it. You can angle it, like if you think the Earth's curving, you can even angle the pole. It's not going to affect the distance away from that straight line, whether that's an arcing straight line or a actual straight line. Arcing away from them is going to make 0 difference in the point at free space where that 20-foot of line winds up. That's representing free space. This is foolproof, guys. I think I'm gonna make a video, a short video, and go into a little bit more detail and show the measurements on my channel, Flat Earth Test. It should take, it takes a little while to upload it, but look within a couple hours if you get a minute. I'd like to hear the comments.
Yeah, for sure. We'll take a look.
It's a good try, but
done,
also I have a question for you guys. What other instrument can I put inside my car to drive over the Earth to show me my pitch, my elevation, like my elevation pitch, my angle? What other instrument besides a protractor could I take in my car to measure the distance and whatever, if I go up or down a hill or whatever? Could I use a gyroscope?
I don't know. I'm hooked
So
on Bob's
I can use a digital protractor. I could use a gyroscope, all to detect my pitch, my slope, I can't remember the word for construction. You got your slope, then you got your decline, right, or your incline. So slope and incline can be measured with a protractor. If you had measurements to it, quantified its angle, right? Obviously, it's a horizontal as you use it. But as far as detecting the pitch, you'd have to have it set up next to protractor, basically. But
so here we have three physical tests to show measurements in free space. One of them's a little more they all include eyeballs, so I guess we got to see. But each is a little bit different in its own way. Maybe that'd be this year's goal. Over the point of this year, we demonstrate and document all 3 of these tests and see what we come up with.
Now, the interesting why I mentioned those types of gadgets, gyro and protractors, because they don't regulate or correct for anything other than your position in 3D space. Why? It's because it creates its own independent reference frame, if you will, that you are acting on its reference frame. Once it has a horizontal angle, you can easily determine all your slope and incline, and it would match the Flat Earth, Google Earth data.
So if I have a gyroscope,
how convenient.
Hold on a second, Brian. If I have a gyroscope and just sit there, the gyro is not going to move.
So obviously you're going to have some type of force to drive the gyroscope. So if you were to move your car, you could emulate the vacuum-driven process that's in an aircraft, and you could have it.
So my question is, if we're just sitting still and we don't go anywhere, will the gyro move or no?
Okay, so
Precession.
you have to have well, precession is two. If you look at it in the manual of a gyro, precession is caused by its own angular momentum, the friction, right? That's one, and then there's the globe precession that they claim happens. But every time you read it, they talk about the gyro being at the North Pole and it precessing 15 degrees. I've never seen a North Pole gyroscope precess 15 degrees.
Okay, forget the North Pole. Does it precess in California or New York?
Well, that's where it should be obvious, though, Jeremy. Is it the North Pole?
So so what I'm talking about is matching flat Earth distance and elevation or slope angle data that you can do yourself that matches your observed reality. And when you look at it at the scale orthographically in Google Earth, it is distance and elevation. So it matches your present reality. It shows you can document the data yourself with a digital protractor at a gyro. I'm just going out. It's not like I'm going to strap a gyro to my car. A digital protractor will be just exactly the same. And you can do this yourself. And it just substantiates you traveling over a level plane.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Brandon, how do you feel about these Bob's lines here?
Well, I think it's easy enough to do if you can find a 3 mile long straight surface, which is what Bab said. He had that canal by his house that was 3 miles.
Well, you do it right on.
Do you guys
but
listen, right?
That's
Like
flowing water. But that's if we do it on a beach though, where the elevations. Hold on, Data. If we do it on a beach, go ahead, Data.
You take the information. So if you're going to do a path 3 fucking miles, you're going to take your vehicle. You're going to drive that distance, and that way you can map. You can map it with the digital protractor, and then you can set up your points in between it. But here's the thing: what you have to realize, you actually have data to put in between your 2 fucking poles.
How do you prove that's free space? How do you prove that it's in free space, bro?
Are you listening? All you're looking for
All
you're looking for is distance and elevation data between 2 points. If you're going between two points and they're the same sticks, the point is that the information shows you, dude, that if it was pitching tilting, that the 2 sticks between your data would arc. They don't, or diverge. They don't.
Yeah,
the data says no matter where you put your sticks, they're going to be parallel to each other on that fucking surface that you run over. So
what's their claim against that, Bob? Don't they try and say that that the data is mapped over a ball in the first place?
Here's the problem, though. When you present this data, are you presenting data that you've actually taken your car, zeroed out your protractor, whether it's a plumb bob in a fucking quadrant, whatever it is, you film it, you can see the incline and slope of your vehicle as it traverses a path. That's recordable and that's measurable. If you were to actually measure the distance between 2 points, and that slope and incline information, then match it to Google Earth, you'd be able to say, no, this is the actual data I get. It's just distance and elevation.
Right. So basically you're saying Google Earth is showing flat. Well, they don't buy that. I'd like to hear somebody play...
You can confirm that with your own stuff is what I'm saying. So that's
they already don't buy that, though, bro, is what I'm saying. Yeah. They already don't buy that.
Okay. But here's what they don't have.
Data, we heard it. We heard it, bro.
We heard it. They don't
You don't need to keep going over it.
They don't have a way to represent. They don't have a way to represent diverging poles, just like you don't have a way to show diverging poles. Do you understand? But what we do have is distance and elevation information that we can produce ourselves. That's what we have.
All right.
Well, will somebody play devil's advocate and tell me why my experiment should or won't show if it doesn't match up in a straight line, physical line on the ground?
Could you
lost me on that? You got to make a video,
explain
bro.
to me again. I've seen a bit of what you're saying, but I didn't catch that. I haven't been watching for the last half an hour, so I didn't.
I'll show you real quick, Rumpus. I'll show you.
By the way, Flat Earth
Brandon, we go to the beach.
Flat Earth Day speaking.
Brandon, we go to the beach. Brandon,
Tell
we
me
go to
more,
the beach and do
Rumpus.
it?
Tell me more, Rumpus.
And he doesn't understand what precession is. Gyroscope does not measure precession. When you see the 15
listen,
degree,
is there,
let me
is
finish.
there
Let
two
me
forms
finish.
of precession?
The 15
Fucking
degree per
great.
hour, for
Is there
instance, the
two
Bob
forms?
measured is
Is there
not
two forms of precession?
That's
two
not
forms of it?
precession. When a
Is there two forms of it?
When a gyroscope, for instance, is Bob measured, that's not measuring precession. A gyroscope holds its position in space. So when the Earth rotates, it's just still holding an angle, and then it's different to the body in which it's in. That's nothing to do with precession. He doesn't understand what precession
Rumpus,
is.
can you see my screen, bro?
Yeah.
Can you see my screen, Rumpus?
Jeremy,
hold
what's
on,
up? Jeremy, what you got before we move on to Rumpus and Brian talking? Go ahead.
Let Leaky finish. Let everyone get their shit out, because then I want to go for a couple minutes. So go ahead, Leaky.
Sorry,
Okay,
when
I'll
I
try to
click
make
on when I click on your camera, there we go. Right, okay. There we go.
Okay, so I got 3 points. This represents, let's say, 8 miles or so. Okay. We lay out a straight line.
So the first, we've got 3 poles there, and the distance between the 3 poles you're proposing about 8 miles. Okay.
Yeah, just it's hypothetical. Okay.
Yeah,
Now we set a pole. We set a plumb bob above each spot on a calm body of water, 20 foot high, exactly 20 foot high above the water. Okay.
Hold on. So are these poles 20 feet high?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 3
No,
poles.
no. Okay, yeah. Well, listen to this. Listen to this real quick, Rumpus. Okay, so then from the top of that pole, we take a 20-foot string line and we pitch it out 45 degrees. Okay.
So we've got 2 poles. So in other words, we've got 6 poles now. One of which.
No, three. Yeah.
Well, what are you attaching the other end to the?
Well, let's just say this: we can drive a pole down into the water and mark it at water level and measure up from 20 feet above the water level and tie a string at that point.
Right. So we've got 3 poles and they're attached to the water level. They're 45 degrees. So we've got 3 poles.
Okay.
And they're 20 foot high.
This represents the poles right here.
Quickly summarise. You've got 3 poles, 8 miles apart, 20 feet high, and you've decided to draw a 45-degree line between the top of the poles and some distance to the left.
Yeah.
Or some.
You see this fence right here? This fence represents the poles, and if the water's curving, it might be. Okay.
So what are these other posts? So what are these other posts there?
Curving in reality.
So what are these other posts doing to the left? What are they going to the ground?
They're just a mark. They're just a mark where the 10-foot ends. Okay. So this pole right here. Okay. If the Earth is a globe and this one's lower, see how I got it tied down on the fence a little bit. And this one, I got it tied to the top of the fence.
Hold on, I thought you said the fence with the poles. They should all be the same height.
No, the poles represent free space. These stakes in the ground, they're free space, bro. They're just to mount the end of that 20 feet.
Okay, I've lost you completely. There are just 3 poles, you're saying, and
these represent the poles.
Hold on, can I just summarise? So there are 3 poles, 8 miles apart, going across 8 miles. They're 20 feet high, and you're attaching at 45 degrees the top of the pole to what?
I'm attaching 20-foot strings going down at a 40.
What is wrong with the audio in here? Is it me or is it you guys?
I think it's you.
I can hear fine. Okay, so Rumpus, let me finish and then ask questions. Okay, so this would represent the top of curving water. Okay, that represents 20 foot up in the air.
You're missing out the key word. What is representing curving water?
The top of the string line, bro.
The top of the string line is
20 foot above the water.
I've lost you completely, I'm afraid. I don't understand.
Okay, you can't picture a string line 20 foot above the water, bro.
So
3 of them in a straight line. Look, in a straight line.
Where's it going? At the moment, all I've got is 3 poles that are 20 feet high. What are these string lines going from and to?
These string lines are all 20 foot long, and they're all going 90 degrees from my straight line here. Okay, in free space. They're all going 90 degrees, or they're 90 degrees out, but I'm pitching them down 45 degrees. Okay, 45-degree angle, Rumpus.
Right, I still haven't got this at all. So you've got 3 poles, 8 miles apart, and are they 20 feet high?
No. The ends are 8 miles. The whole span is 8 miles.
Yeah, I got that. I got that bit. I keep on saying that. That's the bit that's not controversial. So how tall are these poles that are vertical?
Okay, these poles are representing a ball Earth. This string right here is 20 foot above the water, and that one is 20 foot above the water, and that one is 20 foot above the water. Okay, and on a ball Earth.
Hold on, the strings have got a 45 degrees, so they've got different heights.
The very end of the string is a point in free space, bro.
Point in free space, so they're not attached to
Yeah,
anything.
well, 20 foot above the. Well, let's say the bottoms are free space. The top is, dude. You're making this harder than you need to.
No,
just
I don't
picture.
I'm sorry, Brian. I'm not being terribly blunt, man. But I
Just picture. Okay, well then fucking listen, dude.
Yeah, but I have
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Picture
but
3 poles in a straight line, bro. Picture 3 poles in a straight line, all of them 20 foot above the water, okay? Now tie a string.
So hold on,
a fucking pole 20 foot above the water, okay? You got that? You got that?
Hold on, so the bottom of the pole's in the water, and the 20 feet.
Don't worry about the bottom of the pole yet. Don't worry about the bottom of the pole.
Right.
Brian, you should just make a video, honestly, because I don't get this either.
Yeah, we're not getting it, Brian.
Well,
You should
okay.
make a video.
Okay, Shut the fuck up, dude. I could have been done 100 times explaining this. Okay, so we got 3 poles in a straight line. One is at 0, one's at 4 miles, the other one's at 8 miles. So that these two are at a maximum distance of 8 miles apart.
Yeah,
this string right here, this represents a pole right here. This represents the top of a pole. Okay? That represents 20 foot top of a pole. This one represents the 20 foot top of a pole. That point right there. That point represents tying into the 20 foot above the water, and so does this one, 20 foot above the water. Now, if they are at differing elevations, if we take, I'm almost fucking done, dude. We take 3 20-foot string lines and we run them at 45 degrees out from that straight line. Okay, if the one in the middle is higher, they're all at 45 degrees going that way. Okay, and they're all 20 foot long. Then they would not line up
as well.
You see that?
No, I don't understand.
Brian, both models are going to be
the only thing I've understood is there are 3 poles 8 miles apart. Now, I think you said they're 20 feet high, but then you've also said the strings are 20 feet long. I haven't understood anything, and you've said that they would all.
Yeah, that's you got that right. You got that right.
Well, I don't understand what these strings are attached to. You've got so we've got some poles. What are you attaching the strings between? The top of the poles and what?
The top of the pole and nothing. 45 degrees. If I could dangle them at 45 degrees, I would. I only have them staked off just to represent the 20 foot.
So are you going to have a 20-foot pole coming out the top of these other 20-foot poles at 45 degrees?
No.
I don't
No. I'm going to pull them 45 degrees. I'm just going to pull. It's so fucking simple, dude. Line up 3 poles. Okay, in the water, measure in a straight line, measure 20 foot above the water at that point. Okay, if there's
these poles are 20 feet high, they're all 20 feet high, and they're in a straight line across 8 miles. Okay, now that's really easy. I don't understand what these strings are going from and to.
Okay, all right, from that 20, take 3 20-foot string lines. They all got to be exact to keep this fair. They've all got to be exactly 20 foot, and they've all got to be going down at 5 degrees.
Right, but if they're going to touch the ground, obviously they can't be 20 feet.
No, they're not going to touch nothing, dude. They're not going to touch.
So we've got
nothing's
strings
going to mark the spot.
Anything.
No, we're going to measure the spot that they wind up at. It's going to represent free space. That's where the free space comes in. It's not. So if the Earth is a globe, okay, they should be.
But the poles, due to the degree on the curve, they have the same elevation, the same distance above the water, but they will be above one another in terms of if you were looking down a fjord like where you are now. So if imagine you were a camera and you were looking along the line of these poles along 8 miles, you would see the poles go down because of drop.
They got to line up, bro. If the Earth is globe, the one in the middle.
So when you say line them up, they're lining up horizontally. So you're looking along a line of 3 poles that are 8 miles in long, and then you would see the tops of the poles, assuming your camera was in line. You say they're 20 feet. Let's suppose you put your camera at 20 feet. You would see
that shit don't matter, bro. The only thing that matters is the final point that them 20-foot string lines end up at in free space. They're not going to be in the water. They're not going to be on the ground in the water. The water does no longer matter. All we're trying to see is if the water is curving or not. All we're trying to see is that there's a chord between them two. It's almost like turning a helix, a double helix, like turning it at 45 degrees. That's what you're doing.
I don't understand what these strings are attached to.
I know you don't. I know you don't. I'm having a hard time explaining it.
I don't get it.
But I'm gonna make
either,
a video.
Brian. Yeah, make a video.
Can you, just set them in the water, okay? Where they're each sticking up 20 feet above themselves in the water. They're on a straight line, okay? We can run a 8-mile string line if we had to, and determine they're all lined up and they're all 20 foot above the water, okay? Now we're gonna so the top of each of them poles, we're gonna tie a string, okay, a 20-foot string, and we're just gonna pull them out at 45 degrees. They all have to be exactly 20 foot long. They all have to be 45 degrees. Okay? If they're all exact.
What do you expect, Brian, hold on. What do you expect to see different on a flat Earth compared to a globe?
I don't expect to see nothing different. I think they're going to all line up, but on a globe they can't.
That's what he asked.
Why? They're all 20 feet. They're all 20 feet above the water, though. Why wouldn't they all be the same? It's going to be the same thing on either model.
I'm showing you why. Because if there's a
Right.
look at my screen.
You're like
put
freezing
one
up
higher.
or something.
Okay, when I put one higher, let me try
higher.
it from this side. When I put the in real life,
the only way they appear
they don't
to be
line
hard
up.
if you're looking along the line, if you're looking along the line, then you see a drop. That's the only thing that's going to be different about them. But they're actually going to be all the poles are all the same height. Therefore, you're putting these 20-foot lines floating in space, which I don't understand. But they'll all look the same, except there'll be the drop of the globe, the curvature of the Earth will cause them to drop. As the furthest one at 8 miles will be whatever it is. What is it, 8 miles, 64 inches times 8.
That's exactly what we're trying to figure out, bro. That is exactly what we're trying to figure out.
But hold on, then you just need a series of 8 poles, and then just see the fact they've got drop on them.
We're not comparing them to the ground, bro. We're not comparing them to the ground after that.
You can compare the tops of them if they're all 20
Exactly.
feet high.
Ding, ding, ding! Eureka! You got it, bro. We're comparing them to each other.
Right, exactly. So you don't need any of the string stuff. You can just look along a line of poles that are going along 8 miles distance, and you can see the top.
Would you agree, Rumpus? Would you agree that if we line the bulges up correct and we line up for a bulge in the center, okay, the bulge in the center is higher than the two on the end, and we pulled them at 45 degrees, would you agree that they would not, because of the curvature of the Earth, they would not line up all three together? Would you agree with that?
Brian, why are you messing around with these strings? All you're doing, it seems to me, is trying to observe drop. See, all you need to do is get 3 poles, 20 feet high.
Don't care about drop, bro. Don't care about drop.
You just said that's what you were trying to measure.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to see if the one in the middle is lining up with the two on the end. I'm trying to figure out if there's a chord.
Yeah, that's the drop. Yes, that's what drop is.
Care less about the drop. Okay, the 3 string lines on the ground represent free space, bro.
Hold on, Brian. Let me just go through what I think you're trying to do. You've got 3 poles, 8 miles apart, one in the middle. You've got them the same height. So if you were to get a camera and look at and be looking at the first pole, the Earth would show you with drop that the more distant poles, even though they're at the same elevation, they would all drop away. So the furthest pole would be dropped below whatever it is, 8 inches times, so it'd be 64.
Doesn't matter what they're doing, Rumpus. The only thing that matters is that they're all 45 degrees, and we mark them at the end of that pole. It doesn't matter. I don't care what's underneath. I just want to see if the one in the middle is higher than the other 2.
Well, that's drop. You're talking about drop.
No, yeah, but I've already we're testing the water, bro. We're testing to see if the middle is higher than the other 2. If the middle is higher than the other 2, Rumpus, bringing them down at 45 degrees, they will wind up in different points in free space.
But why are you messing around with this 45 degrees? If you're trying to measure drop, you much simply just look at the tops of the poles.
Don't care about drop, dude. I'm obviously have to make a video, or else you're complicating this simple shit on purpose. I think I'm having trouble explaining it.
Leaky, make a video on this. It'll help us all out big time. Because I'm not getting it. Your last video, honestly, I got.
Did you see my screen, Jeremy?
Yeah, but I don't understand what.
Yeah, we saw your screen. We don't understand, Brian, I'm afraid. I really don't understand at all what you think you're doing other than determining.
Okay, well, how about we do this then? Why don't you just picture this? Picture 3 poles dead level at the top of a calm body of water in an 8-mile straight line. Now, pull them 45 degrees up and to the left of where you're looking down that whole line. Okay?
Why not just...
If they're different heights, they should. If they're different heights, they should wind up in different spots. Okay, that we could easily test from side to side.
But Brian, they won't be at different heights though. That's the issue. Because
you're making them 20. You've said them at 20 feet high. Each one is 20 feet high.
No, they wouldn't be. They not only would they be at different heights, they'd be at different distances over.
No, you've said
if all the strings were the same.
Distance over the water.
Yes.
The water in each case, so they're all the same height. They're all the same level. And now you just want to measure the drop. So when you're looking along the line, of the poles, you'll see the drop. The ones in the distance will be 64 inches times 8 inches below.
If the earth is flat, if I would have tied them strings up to the fence at the same height as one another, okay, they would have went the same distance out at 45 degrees. If one of them is higher, it will not go as far. I don't care about the height. All I care about is where that 20-foot string line ends up at. And that's what I'm measuring against.
Brian, when you make a video, tell us what you expect to see on a flat earth and a globe earth.
Yeah, on a flat earth, I expect them to line up in a straight line, looking down it. On a globe, I expect the one in the middle.
You're going to visually look down this whole thing?
Well, I'm going to visually see if I could see it left to right, because I don't think we get left to right refraction, but if that doesn't suffice, we'll have to...
No, that's fine. You don't get left to right refraction, Brian. That'd be fine. The left to right is fine. You don't get refraction. So that's a refraction-free problem.
Okay, my turn. Now did you hear about Bob's lines? Brandon, where were we? Oh.
Doesn't even really have to be level either.
What wall?
Or however you're making this, whatever you use to make it, it doesn't matter as long as you can make the line.
Yeah, we're just gonna put sticks in it. We're just gonna put sticks in the ground or posts or whatever, and make the two lines on the same post.
On something that's already built, you know.
Yeah, we could do it on a wall, or we could just use sticks, whatever. I mean, you got to attach this to a wall somehow, so that'd be tough to attach to like a concrete wall, or you might be better off using sticks with like little hook screws or something, or just screws. You know what I mean?
We can figure that out. It's not like we're going to be, using 2x4s for the line, so we could use something light. They'll sticky.
Yeah, you could use those little great stakes from Lowe's or Home Depot or something. They come in like a pack of like 10 or 20 or something. They're like got a triangle at the tip. They're just little thin sticks, like stakes.
Right.
They're probably like $5 or something for like 10 of them, or they're not much. I mean, you would need a bunch of them, and then you need the line. You're gonna want 2 lines, however long how long you're gonna do it for.
I think you need to go at least 3 miles because 6 foot is a pretty significant amount.
Yeah, then you're gonna want some. You're gonna want some lights, or you're gonna want some way to visually see it. At nighttime.
Just put a light every, like 20 feet or 50 feet or some crap with cheap LED light or something.
A little cheap LED light. Yep. But do you understand that one side of this line? The flat line is going to look the same on both sides. So it's either going to be curving or look straight or hooking up.
Yeah.
However, the line that actually is curved from left to right is going to look awkward as long as you're in the middle of that line and you go straight out. You got to make do your triangle thing.
Yep.
You're my triangle guy. And you make your triangle and you go out to the point equidistant from each side. And bam.
Yeah. That's right.
Be able to visually.
You hear that? I'm his triangle guy. Okay, so shove it, dude.
That's worth doing. I like it.
This is the best thing.
You heard him, guys. Everybody buy triangles. Buy triangles.
No.
It's
Mine
not.
we can measure. Mine we can physically measure with a straight line. Mine will physically be able to measure. So I'm being biased a little bit, but mine I think is better.
I feel you make this for an optical thing for a cheap thing. This is not expensive. What do we need? 3 miles of line. You could use bullshit. Fishing. $10 fishing line.
You're doing why are you using a line?
Here's what we're doing. Let me explain it to the rumpus. Or do you want to do it, Bob? I'll do it. We're gonna make a line. We're gonna make 2 lines.
Go right ahead and take that one.
We're gonna make 2 lines. You ready, rumpus? You motherfucker.
I'm ready.
We're gonna make 2 lines. We're gonna put posts in the ground in a straight line.
Right.
Okay. straight left to right, not up or down.
Yep.
We're just going to make a
Right.
straight line of posts every
Yep, that's
10,
easy.
20.
Yeah, you can do that. Yep.
Yeah, 10, 20 feet, 20 yards, whatever. Then we're going to put a line on it. We're going to put 2 lines on these posts, right, with string. One of them is going to be at water level.
Right.
The bottom line is going to be at water level. Then the top line, listen, then the top line, we're going to make a cord. As if you were cutting through earth, except we're going to do it in the air.
A tangent.
So we're gonna start 2 inches above the other line, right? And then every mile we go, we're gonna go up 8 inches.
Right. So you're trying to account for the curve.
Yep.
So you're trying to
on the globe. Listen, on the globe model, this line that we're going up 8 inches per mile, that's a straight line on the globe.
Yeah. Okay. So. But of course, you don't need to. If these are in water or something, and you don't need that bottom one, you can just look at the bottom of the post where they're in the water.
No.
Just something to visually see it against, because it's easier to compare. You know.
Yeah. We need this bottom line. Just relax, Rumpus.
The bottom line's just a level line. That's all.
So we're gonna go out.
Okay, but you'd have to. How do you position that? You'd have to position that by either being next to some water or something to make sure it's level.
No, we can use a water level, Rumpus.
Yes, I mean, what, you don't need to bother with it. Just put it next to some water.
Yeah, that's what we thought. But it just depends on if we can find a location that's good enough, you know.
Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, that is tricky. I mean, something like this thing I was trying
to. We could do this on the beach.
Yeah, you could do it on the beach, on a canal or something.
Brandon, we could do this on the beach, dig our trench, and have our still body of water if we really wanted to, or use a water level. Either one. The thing is,
the trench. You're there. Yeah, if you could dig a trench.
The important part, though. The important part is they're going to go to the very center of the lines and look at it orthogonal.
Yeah, you got a problem.
We're gonna go Rumpus. We're gonna go to the middle of this. We're gonna make a triangle and go to the middle to where we can see both ends of the line.
Right.
So we're gonna walk to the middle. We're gonna walk to the middle of the line and walk straight out until we can see both ends of the line in one camera shot. Right.
Well, in which case you're just looking at a horizon almost, aren't you? You might as well just go and look at a horizon.
Just calm down. Just calm down. You're spiraling. Okay. We're gonna look at these lines. We're gonna put little lights on them and do it in the nighttime. We're gonna put little lights on the lines, right?
But what is it? What are you doing differently to being horizon is a circular distance from you. So, but I mean, you seem to be trying to
relax for 5 seconds, Rumpus. I'm almost done. It's almost over.
Okay.
So we're gonna put lights on the bottom one, take a picture. We're gonna put lights on the top one and take a picture, right? Now, one of these lines is flat. So if there's some kind of visual effect happening where it's making it sink or loom or whatever, we're going to see it on both sides of the line. In other words, the flat line is going to look the same on both sides to where the curved line is going to look nuts on one side compared to the other.
Right.
Can you see my screen, Rumpus? Let me add on a little bit. So here's our line.
Yeah.
This is our 3 mile long line, right? So now equidistant from you, if you take a picture in the middle, I mean, it's not equidistant from your position here. These two ends would look like they would curve down, like the top of this oval thing here. It would kind of make that shape because this is the closest to you, so it'd be higher. These would be lower, closer to the horizon. But because we're going up on that end, we'd expect to see some difference between two sides. So maybe this one will curve down because of perspective. This one will stay straight or maybe curve up a little bit. You understand?
Well, yes. I mean, but if you had them at the same level as the camera, they wouldn't curve down. If you had them, they were all 3 feet, say high, and your camera's at 3 feet, then on a flat Earth there wouldn't be any curving. They get smaller. The bottoms will get smaller, but the tops of them, if you range the camera to be the same height as the
he doesn't
tops,
get it.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what shape the Earth is. The same thing's going to happen because this is longer to these ends than in the middle, right? Yeah, you're closer to the middle than the ends. That's why.
Yeah, but that's the whole point about perspective. If the thing's at the same eye level as you are, the same eye as your camera, they won't change.
Left to right, it's certainly will.
Do you understand?
Rumpus.
On a curved Earth, they would, of course. On a curved Earth, they would.
No,
because of drop.
Rumpus.
No,
Rumpus, stop.
no.
Rumpus.
On a flat,
Yes.
it would too, Rumpus. Because
No, not if you have eye level. No.
The closer something
camera-
is to you, it rises in your vision, right?
Yeah, but
it's above the ground.
if your camera and the posts are 3 feet high, then the bottoms of the posts will come up, and the top of the posts will remain in line.
No, it doesn't
on a
matter.
flat
We
earth,
could be
though.
in line with the level. Listen, we could be in line with the level. We're still talking. These are still further, right?
Yes, but they still be the same eye level.
Oh, okay.
Look, on a flat
all right, we're
Earth,
hitting on something interesting.
right?
Hey,
on a flat
Brandon.
Oh God,
Brandon, you'd think that somebody might have thought of this instead of using lights, use targets, Oh my God. It did 2 years ago on the frozen lake of northern Minnesota.
they're looking orthogonally, George. They're not looking along the line.
Yeah, did you look orthogonal, George?
Do you understand that visually there'd be a huge difference? One of them's a straight line and one of them's a curved line.
Yes, I was trying to explain to you. I was trying to explain.
The thing is, it's a curved line, not curved evenly in the middle. It's curving up at one end, crazy. So visually, it's going to be obvious which one of these is a straight line and which one's a flat line.
Right, but you wouldn't be
curved and flat. Which one's
right? But
curved
if
and
you're
which
looking
one's flat?
orthogonally, you're not going to get. It's not. If you were thinking on a globe Earth, you could get one of them to look straight. It wouldn't if you're in the middle, and then you're looking at things because you've got the.
Oh my God!
No, you don't understand the geometry.
Rumpus.
I'm afraid, Jeremy.
Rumpus. We have a straight line. We're in the middle of this straight line out. We can see the whole length of the line, 3 miles. Whatever visual effect is happening, looming, sinking, whatever, it's going to be happening pretty much evenly on both sides of this line. This line's going to look symmetrical, right? The flat line.
There are several problems.
Is the flat line going to look symmetrical?
Right. One of the problems you've got.
Is the line that's curving up crazy going to look symmetrical?
Right. Problem number one is that you've got things at different distances from you. So you've got different drops. The middle is closer to you than the ones at the end. So you've got a different drop in the middle than you have at the ends.
Rumpus.
Look, you're not understanding half of what's going on here.
Hold on. Just hold on. Let's not get crazy.
Wait, no, do you understand what's happening here, Jeremy? He's saying that the curvature is going to make it look one way. I'm saying that the perspective is going to make it fuck it up in the same exact way.
On what, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what's making it look like what. Rumpus, one of the lines is going to look symmetrical because it's flat, right?
If it was a flat Earth and they're all at 3
Is the
feet
flat
high,
line? Listen, one of these lines is guaranteed to be flat. Okay, is the flat line going to be?
No. On a flat Earth, yes. On a flat Earth, no, you wouldn't be guaranteed to be flat. On a globe Earth, no. Listen to me, Jeremy. The one you're claiming, you're trying to sort of eliminate the curve to make it look flat on a globe, wouldn't be because you've got the 8 inches per mile squared, I think, starting off at 0 at the left, and then you've got it increasing by 8 inches per mile squared to the right, aren't you? That's what you're trying to do. But you're looking across it, so it will not look straight on a globe Earth. Now, if you're on a flat Earth, then the one at the base of the post would indeed look flat.
Okay, hold on. Are you telling me we're not making a straight line if we bring it up 8 inches per mile squared?
Yes, because you're looking across it. You're not looking along it.
We are making a straight line.
Only if you're looking along it, but you're looking across it now.
What do you mean only? Who cares how we're looking at it? Is it a straight line?
Because it changes it completely, the geometry. If you're looking across it, you'll be curved on a curved Earth as well.
I'm curious, whatever happened to the objection to doing things optically?
This would be objective right here because one of the lines is there. One of these lines is going to be straight.
No, they're not. Not
insane world are you living in right now, Rumpus?
Oh my God, you don't understand the basic geometry of this. The 8 inches per mile squared would make you, if you compensated, if you looked along the line, then it would look straight. If you were looking along,
who cares how we look at it?
Because it makes a huge difference. Jesus Christ, if you're looking at the orthogonally, you've got a different drop and you're looking left to right across it, it will not be straight on a globe Earth.
Okay.
You've misunderstood the geometry
of
it.
It won't be straight on a flat Earth.
Yeah, none of them is straight.
But what if we used photogrammetry and just took pictures
Hold
equal distance
on.
from the line as we go down it, Rumpus? What do you think about that?
Brandon.
Sorry, say again.
Stop. Brandon, hold on. He's being insane. Why are one of these lines not going to be straight?
Because you're looking across it. because you're compensating. If you're looking along it, then you can use the 8 inches per mile squared. If you're looking across it, then you've presumably got. So what you're saying is that if we're looking at this diagram here, you would have left to right. You would have the one at one on the left. We did say that's my 0, and then you would gradually have it curving, dropping from left to right.
I don't know what his diagram is. His diagram's nuts.
I'm looking
right
at Brandon's diagram. What are you
Hold on.
looking at?
His diagram's fucking nuts.
No, my diagram's good.
Eventually,
So
they're all going to come around to what I did 2
Brandon.
years ago.
Maybe.
The
Hold on.
diagram's
Let me
not
try to
very
clear this
possible.
up. I think I can clear this up. Well, let me ask this question. I understand what you're saying, Rumpus, that you're going to be looking over more Earth curve here than here. Okay, whatever. What if we got a block and we stood up on the block and looked at it from on top of the block?
Right.
What the fuck, Brandon? Why are you
We'll
doing?
calculate how much
Stop.
Earth curve is over here. It would be.
Rumpus.
And we'll look at it from the block.
Rumpus, if I started at the water level and then I went out a mile, thing up 1 foot from the water level and made a straight line from that block that's up 8 inches from one side and water level on the other side, would I have a straight line?
Can you repeat that, please?
Water level.
So we've got a water level
away.
now.
Water level. I go 8 miles. I go 1 mile away, and I make a mark 8 inches up in the air, and I make a straight line from that point.
Straight line from that point, from where to where?
The water level.
Rumpus, you're wrong. Okay, you're wrong either way
He is
because
fucking
no
wrong.
matter
No, I'm
what,
absolutely
no
correct.
matter what shape of the Earth, right? It's going to look different on. It will have to look different if the Earth is curved.
Well, he's saying we're
The
not
sides
making
will
a straight
have to
line
look
if we go 8
different.
inches.
Oh, well, you get yes, it will look different, but you won't do what you're eliminating the Earth curve, which I think is what Jeremy was trying to do. Yes, they will look different on the
Because
two.
one of them is a straight line. One of these lines that we're going to make is guaranteed a straight line.
Not from the side.
What the fuck? It doesn't matter how you look at a line.
Yes, it does. Jesus Christ!
Now, why does it matter
Because
how you
look,
look at a line?
Look!
Yeah,
In the diagram that Brandon's got, there's a drop on the left-hand side and the right-hand side have got the same drop, and in the middle, the drop will be less.
Insane.
That's what I
Brandon,
said.
Am I looking
Yeah.
at an updated version, or
I mean, it's basic geometry you're having a
you
problem
have a
with.
block with a human standing on it right now?
Forget the block. The point is that with this a straight line going across your line of vision, the left and right have got a different drop to the middle
Rumpus.
because it's closer.
Rumpus, if I put a string, let's pretend I can make this string perfectly straight. Okay,
Yeah,
and I put the
left
string
and right. Yeah, we got that. Yeah,
and I put the string at water level at one spot, and then I walk 1 mile away and I make it 8 inches above the water at another spot.
yeah.
Well, I have a straight line, regardless
you're
of the angle I fucking look at it from.
Well, if you were looking. Well,
I don't know why this is challenging for you. Why is this even difficult?
because you're
This
looking
isn't hard to
across
grasp.
it.
One of these lines, Rumpus, one of these lines is going to be a straight line. Either the flat Earth one, because we're going to use the water level, and we're saying that's flat. So either that's going to be a straight line, or your nutty ass curved line that's going up 8 inches per mile squared is going to be a straight line. Right? Do you understand? If it's a globe, our line won't be straight, and yours will. You're not grasping this.
Well, you're going to have a perspective problem for a start with
Don't
position
worry
on
about.
Thuggly.
Listen.
It will change it. It will. You have to because you're looking at it.
Oh, Jesus
There's
Christ.
a different distance. There is a different distance between the end and the middle. So
you're never going to be able to spot this orthogonally. If you have 3 mile line, how far away orthogonally are you going to have to be from the center? Probably a good 3 miles in order to have a 90-degree view on each end.
And we're going to have little
one end
lights
to the
on
other.
them at nighttime. We're going to have little lights on them at nighttime. We're
Yeah,
gonna be
and
fine.
you used to worry about refraction. You don't think you're going to have refraction looking to the middle at 3 miles and the two ends at close to 4 miles?
Okay, do you
just trading one set of problems for another set.
Do you understand that? Right. I hear what you're saying, but one of these lines is going to look symmetrical. The other one's not. The straight
How
line.
do you know? It just depends on your atmosphere.
Because the straight. Well, we're talking about 4 miles. Is it going to be that much of a difference?
Oh, most certainly could.
Well, we can leave the line up and view it over 10 days.
Yeah, that's what you'd have to do, is view it over several days.
Okay,
so
but do you
can get an
understand? Do you
average.
understand the concept here, George? One of these lines is going to look symmetrical, while the other
Yeah, I
one's not, because it's
understand.
not a straight
I
line.
understand. I just think all this is so foolish because I've basically done that, not orthogonally, but I've done.
Yeah, but that's what they want to do, George. They want to do it orthogonally.
Yes,
So
because
what?
one of the
Well,
lines will be
how
symmetrical.
is that? How is that superior to what I did 2 years ago? Lining targets up along a tangent line, and then also lining a set of targets up equidistant the height above the water.
Because you looked at it from a you didn't look at it from a side-on view.
Makes no difference.
We're going to have a physical line out there. We're going to look at it from the side-on
And I
view.
have a
The
physical
flat
line too.
Hold on, George. The flat line is going to be symmetrical. The curved line is not going to be symmetrical, right?
Oh, same sort of thing that I saw when you viewed targets. One set of targets,
the
my
curve-
lower targets.
We
they'd
shouldn't
be
even do
the curve of
anything.
the Earth.
We should just shut the server down. Globe Earth proof.
The what?
We should just shut the whole server down because you already proved globe Earth. Is that what you want to do?
I didn't say that. That's up to you.
But that's what you're making it sound like. Why are you guys even bothering with this? Because I already proved it.
Well, I did. And I'm doing another set more precisely this winter.
Well, all I have to say is one of these lines is going to be straight.
Yeah, I mean,
it's either going to be the one that's curving up or the one that's level with the water.
Yeah, and I was talking optically, Jeremy. Yes, I mean, if you did have a line which you added 8 inches miles squared as you were going along, then on a globe model, that line would be straight looking along it. If you,
yes,
but if you go from
right.
this, but yeah, so, but I was thinking it's the issue of you're looking orthogonally to it, and
why is that an issue?
Because you're going to get a different perspective effect, and therefore.
We're going to get a different perspective effect on one side of the line than the other?
Hold on, no, let me...
No, we're not. One of these lines is going to be symmetrical. The one that's curved is not going to look symmetrical. Granted, there's no insane refraction.
Well, it will on the globe model. It would be a straight line. I mean, you're correct to say if you went along 8 miles squared, you would end up with a straight line on a globe, which obviously...
On a globe, yes.
Yeah,
and we're saying our line... And we're going to have it... We're saying our line's flat because we're going to use water.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So either way, we have a flat line.
Yes, you have a straight line would be...
One of those lines is going to be straight, yes.
Yes, but then I was... But I thought...
Right.
Yes, so I was...
But
the bit that I was... But you're... But it wouldn't look... Okay, what you'd have to... Okay, if your camera was at the right elevation... You'd have to also come right. This is the other problem. Okay, the point about the problem is you would then have a problem with the person. You'd have to account for the drop from the observer to the straight line, and that's different from the left and right edges.
No, we don't have to worry about drop. Earth drop.
But there is but I think there's a way of getting around this. Yes, I mean if you would in theory.
No, we don't have to get around anything. Bro, we made a straight line and a curved line hanging in the air. Why would we care about the ground underneath it at this point?
No, I'm not. Well, because it's not. I think of your viewpoint. You to make it look straight would have to be at the same. Because if you were looking down on it, admittedly the effect is probably quite small. Well, no, if it's
we're gonna have a side-on view, bro. We're gonna hang the bottom line. We're gonna hang.
But according to the drop on the globe model, it would be quite a lot, but it'd be 20 feet or whatever it is, 3 miles, however many, 4 feet below you. So you'd be looking down on it, which means you would then be looking at a straight, because if you're looking at a straight line, I suppose it would still appear straight, I suppose.
How high do we need to make the lines, Rumpus, in the air? How high?
No, I'm trying to work out whether or not it should still appear straight. Yes, okay. It would just be not straight where you, in your horizontal to you, I suppose is what I'm really saying. But actually, that's not really an issue because it would then.
You're talking about a degree or two.
Something. There's something wrong here. Left to
Yeah,
right.
there's something wrong. It's your fucking brain.
No, it's not my brain. Because it would mean it can't.
I just burnt half the show with you arguing about if one of the lines was going to be straight or not. And you thought it differed depending on how you view it.
I think I've got it now. It would be straight, but it would be angled. Yes, okay, that's my problem. So, but that's still fine. Yes, that would still prove the point. You would have a straight line. Yes, right. That was my problem. So
No,
you
one
would
of
indeed
these
have a
lines-
straight line, but the thing is, it would go at an angle. It would not be horizontal. Is my point. Yes, that's why I was having a problem with it.
One line would be one line's going to be symmetrical. One line's not going to be symmetrical.
Right. When you say symmetrical, well, I don't know what you mean by the point is that by doing what you've done, you have created a straight line, but the left hand, let's suppose you said that the left hand is where you're 0, and then you added on to going left to right. So
And
that
then we
would
go
be
up. Yeah.
Yes, it would then go up. So it'd be like looking like a horizontal. You know, when I talk about these horizontals on the tangent. In other words, what you're doing is you're fixing a tangent to the left-hand point, and then it would go up at a very small angle, but it would be straight. So you're correct.
Brandon, what the fuck is going on with your screen? You're smoking a fat joint right there?
Just added some color to it. That's all.
Right. So Jeremy, you're right. The line would be straight, but it would be angled up in the air to the right, for instance. So if you started,
it's fine.
But it would be a straight line on a globe, and it would be a straight line, but it would be angled up. Now, the thing is, that's quite a difficult. I mean, have you seen Rory's photograph of the horizon at from 700 feet? The difference in the angle is really tiny, because if you want the whole picture in there, you need to capture 6 miles or something. You're going to get here left to right, or 3 miles, and the number of pixels on the vertically you're going to look for, because therefore it's only going to be a few feet. So in a single picture that you take, you're trying to have the horizontally, you're going to have it as 3 miles, and then you want to see just a few feet up and down, which is almost impossible to do. I mean, if you've seen Rory in this view of Menorca,
how long of a line do we need to make so we can know that one's not symmetrical to the other one?
Well, it's not. I think. Okay, I suppose you could go. Let's call it symmetrical. It's rather strange. Well, you want. It all depends on your
whatever
camera
optical. Hold on.
Well,
hold on,
okay.
If we're in the middle of this line, we got a triangle, and we're at the top point of the triangle, looking at both ends of the line. Whatever optical effects are happening, are pretty much going to be happening equally on both sides. So what say it's dropping on both sides.
So what you would see optically, you would see a gap between the line that you've created to represent the horizontal on a curve. You would see a gap on the right hand side between that and the body of water. So imagine this is you're looking at some water with these posts on. On the right hand side, you would see a gap between the top of your post, which was accounting for the curve, and the water. So in other words, what you're asking is how many pixels do you want in an image, in a photograph that you took, such that you could see that clearly, and I could go and do the calculation, how many miles would you need to have left to right to see a decent number of pixels on the right-hand side of your photograph showing the difference between horizontal and level? I could go and do that calculation. I could go and do that for you tomorrow probably, but I can't do it immediately. It involves a little bit.
What if we used photogrammetry or took mini pictures and stitched them together?
Well, then you're knackered there, because if you moved along left to right, you're changing your angle. Yeah,
we'll just you'll just use the section right ahead of us, so
Yeah, but you need to compare it. Yeah, but you need to keep yourself in line. The whole point is that you need to have you.
You still see my screen? Like what I'm saying is you take a picture of this, move down a little, move down a little.
Yeah, but don't forget, as you move left to right, you are changing your angle on a globe Earth. You're changing what horizontal is for you. You're curving left to right. As you move left, you're starting to lean to the left.
Yeah.
But what you're saying actually is not. You could compensate for that, because if you know the line is straight, well, actually, you only need to know the gap at the end. Actually, no, you might be okay. Because you only need to know, because I'm saying what you would end up with is only the gap at the end.
We only need this, right? If the gap is down here, we only need to take a picture of this part, and then we'll take a picture of this part.
Yes. Actually, you're right. Actually, you would just need a picture at the end. And as I say, the thing you would get, this would give you this, because you've got an inclined straight line, and then you would only need to see the gap at the right-hand end, and that's just a picture of taking that. So yes, you just need a picture of the right-hand end against the
What
pole.
does that prove?
Well, we don't need
What
the
is that
stuff in the middle, Jeremy, because we're just interested in the deviation. We're just interested in comparing the two ends, right? We want to see the deviation, and we want to see the normal.
Yeah, because it'd be maximum at the end, because you've got this. You're putting in this string as 8 inches times the square. At the end, would be much higher than the one than the middle. So you might
What's
just
that
measure
going
the
to
end.
tell us?
Well, because
the one on the end is going to be way higher. What's that going to tell us? We made it like that.
Well, it wouldn't.
We need the whole line, and one's going to be symmetrical and one's not. One's
That's
going
what
to be
we're
insane.
doing. We're comparing this to this. We're taking a picture here, but that's what we're going to do. We take the whole picture anyway.
We're going to take a
compare
lot
this
of
side to this
pictures.
side.
We're going to take fucking 8 million pictures of this thing from every angle feasible.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we'll get
let's
fucking
agree on
drones
that.
out.
Yep. We'll take pictures like this. Here, I'll put some more pictures in. We'll take some pictures like this. This will be a picture from this angle.
Okay, perhaps the yes, perhaps the on. Right. Yes. Okay. Actually, Jeremy does have a point. Because what you would affect is, would the line look straight if you took a picture of it? That's actually what. Yeah. So actually, he does have a point. Because what you, in theory, if you were this person, where he is there, the line would look perfectly straight. Whereas if it was on a flat Earth, and obviously you've put in this curve, and on a flat Earth, it would look curvy. So
one's going to be rumpus. One's going to be symmetrical. One's not going to be symmetrical because it's not a straight fucking line. It's an insane curving line.
No, the symmetrical thing is not. No, I'm sorry, you got this issue. What you've done, as you say, you've created a straight line on a globe Earth, which is obviously what I believe would happen. But if you're on a flat Earth, it would still look curvy. But on a globe Earth, it would look straight.
Oh my God, rumpus! One of these lines.
Hey, George.
Rumpus, have you been sleeping well lately?
No, I've got this. I've got this now. I've got it all sorted in my head now. And
I'm so surprised you're buying into this nonsense. Logistics.
Why
of
is
doing
this nonsense?
This
is logistically a piece of cake compared to the other
George,
shit.
Yeah, George.
Compared to some of the other crazy shit you guys have thought of, this one's not done.
This is
George,
a cakewalk.
Right, George. All they're doing is they're putting some lines, some posts.
I know what they're doing. I can see.
Why is this not? What's wrong with that? And if those form a straight line, as you're looking at it, if it does form a straight line, and you can see that
to view both ends reasonably, if you've got a 3 mile line, you're going to have to be at least 3 miles away from the center.
Yeah. But George, have you seen the Rory images of him looking at the curvature of the Earth from a 700 feet high using his horizon-o-matic thing? And you can detect the curve left to right if you use, and then if you compress the image horizontally, you can see that the horizon is curved and the the block.
Yeah, I've seen that. You're dealing with horizon. You're dealing with the contrast between sky and land. Here you're talking about putting some lights on some poles and setting these things up. Where are you going to set it up? If you don't, shut up a minute. Jesus Christ.
If you accept that the horizon-matic thing that Rory did shows you a difference between the curvature of the Earth and a straight line, then it's detectable with a camera. So all they're doing is they're not using the horizon, but they're compensating for the thing. So
I understand this.
Right, so why are you
saying it? Try it. No,
so I don't understand. But you're saying geometrically, you said it was nonsense, but it's not. I mean, it's going to be difficult.
I didn't say geometrically it was nonsense. I said it's logistically almost impossible to do.
This is logistically a cakewalk.
But all they need to do, George, is to put in lots of posts. I mean, admittedly, it's 3 miles worth of posts and line between them, but it's
that's because the other
things
you thought up were impossible. But
yeah, I mean, this one's. I mean, obviously, it's still a big job if you wanted to. But you could put 10 posts.
If you're going to be 3 miles away, you're going to want your lights to be well above the refraction zone. That means, at a minimum, your lights are probably going to have to be a good 15 feet above the water. Okay?
Whatever, George. This is a cakewalk logistically. We're not worried. You're the only one that's worried about the logistics of this.
Oh, I'm not worried. I find it rather amusing. None of you guys have any practical experience.
Yeah, we do, George. Chill out.
Well, I mean, I mean, if you want to do it 3 miles, then the drop, you've got to, what's the drop at 3 miles? I mean, you're going to have to build a post. This is the problem I'm having in my observation. If you want to do it 3 miles, I mean, my 6 mile one requires a 30-foot thingy. If you're going to just do it 3 miles, then what's the drop on that? George is always good at doing this.
24 inches.
Yeah, so.
Is it?
Yeah, so you don't have to, no, it's 3 miles.
6 feet.
Yes, so 6 feet. So you need to build posts that big, plus whatever you want to put them on.
Holy shit, a 10-foot post. I don't know how we'll ever manage this one. The logistics are crazy. How can we ever find a 10-foot post?
I mean, the thing about refraction here is, of course, that because they're mostly the same distance away from you, the refraction issue is a lot less serious. Because you're looking at something orthogonally, then the refraction issue...
left side... Yeah, the left side and the right side.
It's not quite eliminated, but it's you've removed a lot of the refraction effects by the fact you're looking at it orthogonally.
Yeah, the left side and the right side are going to have pretty, unless something crazy is happening, it's pretty much going to be the same refraction from us to the left side and us to the right side.
Yeah, but the middle is going to be a bit different. But you can sort of say, well, okay, you could approximate it if you were 3 miles away and the distance. I mean, okay, it's about what? Another 20% further.
We're just trying to see the symmetry. We're just trying to see the symmetry of this thing.
Well,
the straight line is going to look symmetrical.
The trouble is, I mean, if it's only over 3 miles, I mean, do
you agree that the straight line is going to look symmetrical or no?
Yes, in the sense of it being a straight line. What you're correcting a straight line, but the thing is going to be angled, and so that if you call that symmetrical, if you call a straight line symmetrical, then but it's not symmetrical in the sense of, I mean, if you're comparing it to the surface it's above, obviously it's not symmetrical because the right side at the right you're going to put in 6 feet high, and the one at the left is 0 height. So I don't know what you mean by symmetrical, really, because they are different.
But if it's a globe, yours is a straight line, and when we look at it,
it's angled. Do you understand that?
We'll angle the camera. We'll angle the camera so that we get the line.
Yeah, but you can't angle the horizon. What are you being symmetrical?
We're not looking at the horizon.
The horizon.
Why did you just say horizon?
Well, because you've got to be symmetrical. Means it's got to be symmetrical with regard to something. And if you don't have the horizon, you're not left. You're just left with a straight line. The straight line. What do you mean by that symmetrical?
Listen, on the globe, when we take a picture of the globe line, the straight line on the globe, we're going to angle the camera such as that we got the left side of the line. The left side of the line is in the middle of the camera on the left side, and the right side of the line is in the middle of the camera on the right side. You understand, or is this too complex?
Well, no, you're just using the wrong words. That's not symmetrical. And it's it's just a straight line. It's just a straight line you're creating on the globe, which wouldn't be a straight line on a flat Earth, and vice versa. One line, as you say, would be straight line on a flat Earth, and the other one would be straight line on a globe Earth. But they're just where you would see it orthogonally would be a angled straight line. So you keep on calling it symmetrical. I don't think that's the right word to use. You're going to create a straight line that's slightly angled. And the one that follows I mean, if you want to look at, if you've seen the Rory pictures, the straight line one that you're talking about, the one that you said at the base of the post, would look curved like in Rory's pictures, because effectively you're just looking at horizon. You're looking at something slightly different to horizon because the horizon is all the same distance away, whereas you're talking about a straight line. So the distances between the middle of the post and the end of the thing is different. So you're going to get a slightly different effect. But so it wouldn't look straight, actually.
We have to position it in such a way, if we're going to take one picture, that either end is in the same general vicinity of the camera sensor.
Yeah, it's basically a problem of resolution. And if you look at the Rory pictures of he took of the horizon that's from 700 feet high, you're dealing with very few pixels, and he was at 700 feet, which I think gives him his horizon span. Therefore, I can't remember what that is now.
So you're saying we can't get a good enough camera for this?
Well, no, you couldn't. You need a very high resolution. He used a smartphone.
DSLR or something.
Well, yeah, but a really good one.
Okay. We need a good camera.
I can work out what the number of pixels should be if you like. So I'll do it tomorrow. But if you're familiar with the Rory Horizon-O-Matic thing, let me show you. I've got the damn thing here. Let me show you what I'm in case people aren't
I
familiar
think
with
we're
it. Simply share.
familiar that it's one of our favorite comedy pieces.
Okay, great.
But yeah, let's see it.
Okay, you're familiar with it.
Okay.
Right, so that's what you're going to be dealing with, that number of pixels. So, and his might be more because he was at 700 feet high, and therefore his left to right span was, let me just quickly go and work this out. It was a, his left to right, so the distance to the horizon is for, his height was 700 feet, wasn't it? So the distance to the horizon for him, right, so you see it's got 32 miles he was dealing with. Right, so unfortunately, and that means the distance left to right is going to be, so it's 32 miles to the horizon, which means you've got 32, cause it's going to be something like 40.
Right, we'll think of something else. Back to the drawing board.
I'll check the numbers tomorrow, but I think fundamentally go and look at the Rory pictures and then say this is what you would end up doing. And he did it from 700 feet, and I believe that means he has a horizon distance of about 50 odd miles left to right, and then he got those little few pixels, and that's what you would be looking at. You'll be trying to differentiate much less than that as the what you call symmetry, and I'm going to just call the gap.
Yeah, we've got a couple people who have joined the stream, but first I've got a super chat to read that I've been putting it off because you guys were working through that. So a big shout out to Dan Morris. Dan Morris, thank you very much. $9.99. 3 miles of storm gutter can be purchased for approximately under $5,000. This, installed straight on wooden stakes filled with water, will solve all your arguments.
What if instead of the string we used gutter? This gutter he's talking about, would it act different on the flat earth one?
We would be able to get it straight because we'd fill it with water. So we would know if it was if it wasn't straight, right? No, we wouldn't know if it wasn't straight.
Yeah. No, the flat earth.
That's how
one,
they
we would
built
know
the
if-
base of the Egyptian pyramids. They did the exact same thing. So if you want to lay the troughs out exactly like that, that's exactly the way to find a level base.
Yeah, the flat earth.
I mean,
yeah,
why
but
not?
it's not gently curving; it's a horizontal. We know that by application of water.
But Jeremy, if you're trying to do what you're effectively trying to do is something similar to what Rory tried to do, which is to take a picture orthogonally of left to right curvature. And we have Rory's pictures that demonstrate this is what happens, which wouldn't happen on a flat Earth, at least not to the same degree. So you're effectively trying to reproduce a Rory experiment, and you don't really need all these posts and things. You could just take a picture of the horizon.
No, we
and it's
can't.
curving.
No, we can't because there's too much going on in the horizon. There's all kinds of shit going on in the horizon.
Brandon, Brandon, instead of the strings, what if we use the gutter? What would happen different on the globe line compared to the?
If we made we wouldn't be able to make a straight using the gutter, the water in the gutter, because it would just be level, right?
Well, we can make the flat Earth one on the bottom. Same thing we were going to do, except with the gutter. Would the water act different somehow on the? Would it be apparent on which one was correct?
No, the water would act exactly the same on either model.
No.
What would operate on both models?
The water would act the same.
Yeah, but we don't live on a model. Where we live, water is horizontal and contained. So water is expansive.
Oh, be quiet.
Water is expansive. Bullshit. It has pressure. It pushes outward. That's why it seeks its level, right?
He's just playing
the process.
Hey, Brandon, what I was talking about, the impracticality of this is, say if you had a 3 mile long line of lights and you positioned yourself in the middle 1.5 miles away, so that you're looking 1.5 miles to the left, 1.5 miles to the right from the center, okay? And that will make your view from end to end a 90-degree angle. Okay, so your field of view will be 90 degrees. And at the end, you're going to be looking for about a 12-inch drop, the difference in 12 inches between a straight line and the curved line. And you're going to be viewing that over 1.4 times 1.5, 1.5 times 1.414 is a little over 2 miles. 2.21 miles, you're going to be looking for a gap or a difference on the order of about 10 to 12 inches. That works out to a angle difference of 0.004 degrees. Okay, that's about 1/10 of the resolution of the human eye.
Okay, I got you.
Well, this is the point that I was making earlier. That I was saying that the pixel difference, even using a camera, you were already to get those few peculiarly good cameras not going to be able to pick this up.
We've got a couple of people who have joined that haven't been on the show for a little bit. I think one of them stepped out, actually. I thought I saw Travis in here. We've got the Mind of God. What's up, Mind of God? How you doing, man?
Brandon, what's up, man?
Yeah, nothing much, just chilling, trying to figure out how to physically prove if there is curvature or if the Earth is flat.
It's just strange that the ballers seem to always want to keep optics in the discussion, as if it's not possible without it. That's curious.
Yeah,
but it isn't possible.
Well, George and Rumpus have been brainstorming with us, and I think they have made some important contributions to the discussion over the last few
Rumpus,
days.
how can we prove it? How can we prove it without optics? We're in 2021.
You could do what Jeremy's original suggestion was. If you were able to build a 3-mile concrete thing that just followed a trench, and you made out of concrete, and then you could, having made a 3-mile concrete thing, that would then be curved, and then you laid it on its side, and then you could check it. But unfortunately, building a 3-mile concrete thing is rather expensive and difficult to do. As well as you've got to turn it over on its side, which is a rather tricky thing to do. But you can do it. But it's incredibly
expensive. Can I show Mind of God my setup real quick to see if he understands it?
Yeah, sure.
Let me just finish that point though. Remember, the Earth is incredibly flat. So if you're going to try and detect things physically, let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my sentence. The Earth is incredibly flat, so you need to go going along several miles before we know it only takes 8 inches. After a mile, that's all you've got is 8 inches, which is a proportion of a mile. Is incredibly small. So if you want to start detecting feet's worth of curve, you've got to go 3 miles or something. And if you want to turn that into a solid object, and you don't want to use optics, you've got to then go solid, something mechanical. And therefore you need something about 3 miles long.
Rumpus, is incredibly
actually,
flat, Rumpus?
Hey, Jeremy, hold on a second. Rumpus, actually, there would be a fairly easy way do this besides the using the sticks. We already have a structure that goes for over 20 miles that you could use. All you have to do is go to the Pontchartrain Bridge and measure. No, just a minute. Measure the heights of those huts that hang off to the side, how high they are above the water. Okay, and if they're uniformly above the water as we believe they to be, but you can verify that. If they are, you've got essentially what you're looking for.
But George, how are you measuring that against something straight? You're just measuring it as a distance.
Well, you don't. But I mean, if you can see it curving.
Yeah, but that's
but
what
if you can see it curving, aren't you done?
That was Mind of God's point. He doesn't want to use any. Oh God, he doesn't want you to use an optical system. That was his complaint.
Yeah. Well, you are.
No, but he's trying to say you don't want to use it.
Oh, let me show Mind of God.
The current discussion is trying to eliminate optics from the doing it, and unfortunately, what you just said.
But you're not eliminating optics. You're not eliminating.
Yes,
optics.
but he's asking for a system that does.
Yes, correct.
No optics. Jesus.
George,
well, that is the way to do it.
George, we need a straight line that does not involve optics. This should not be that.
Mind of God, can you see my screen? You tell me
what was just proposed is not eliminating.
Before you,
I know, but Mind of God was asking for a system that did.
Before you start, Brian, I'm getting the dancing squares. I don't know if anybody else is seeing Brian's screen, but let me say hello to Travis. His ether bandiness. What's up, man? You on the road? Oh, he must be on the road. Okay.
For the record,
what is Mind of God here for anyway? We tried to help him with his test 2 years ago, and he buggered out on it.
And Paige is in the house.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, Paige?
I think that's the only way to do it. That's fair. Is that we have to use GPS. I don't think that there's any other way.
Oh, you ain't even looked at my shit yet, bro.
If you use
Morning, Brandon.
It's amazing.
Just to let you know.
I would have thought a flat earther would be allergic to the use of GPS. What's his face? Tim Osman, along with Jesse, did a GPS survey of that bridge and showed that it was curved.
We don't care. Let's talk to
No, hold
Travis.
on,
He's on the road. I know. We don't care about GPS. Wait, hold on, guys. God dang it. Hold on. Let's say hi to Travis. Travis is on the road, and we will never get to it, Rumpus, if I don't cut somebody off. Travis, how's it going out there, man? You driving across the country now, or what?
Well, I'm in Northern California. I'm just about to meet up with a high school buddy of mine who lives.
Awesome, man. You enjoying yourself, or what?
Oh yeah, it's been good.
Good, dude. Can't wait to see what
Good
you got.
stuff. I got a lot of great stuff. I've put some finishing touches on a new video that I think is pretty good. Should be out in the next days.
Cool. Yeah. So everybody go check that out, The Plain Truth, and see what he's been up to. He's been out there for a couple weeks now, I think. And we also had Bandsaw Bandit pop in. What's up, Bandsaw?
Hi, man. How you going?
Good.
Rumpus, I got a question for you, man. Do you think that there's a 3 or 4 mile straight line anywhere on Earth right now that we both could agree is absolutely straight?
Well, the only way, LIGO, I mean, but they created their straight line, the LIGO thing, with GPS. So if you don't, I mean, you're keen on GPS, which is absolutely great because I believe it to be perfectly correct. But these other people, because they believe it's some sort of part of some conspiracy, don't accept GPS as giving you valid information. Like, they're mad, I know, but they're just flatties, aren't they?
No, it's not anything. It's a very repeatable tool that defines a grid and then coordinates.
Yeah. I agree, it does. But they believe that GPS is some work of the devil, don't they? They don't believe it's
don't
valid.
say they, man. They're people here.
Rumpus.
Man. We're not in
Cartesian coordinates can be formulated to spherical coordinates, and they still exist in the same space, right?
Yeah, we have no issues with GPS, man, at all.
Okay, great. In which case, then, if you're happy with GPS, then there have been surveys done by Jesse Kozlowski using a very accurate differential thing. GPS thing cost 20,000 quid. He did a survey of that bridge and shows that it is curved. If you're happy to accept accurate GPS data, then that he has shown emphatically that it's curved.
Here's what I think both sides would agree on if there was enough interest is that. Let's say that LIGO thing is straight, or both sides could somehow go and check it. Then let's say a person got a GPS system and then made measurements. Let's say an engineering firm was paid to do that, and then they went along that LIGO, and then they went along a large enough water body, and then presented that data to us so we could go and plot it. Then that would be it. That would be
the great thing about LIGO, of course, is also a vacuum, so you eliminate all the refraction bollocks. So when you make a measurement with a theodolite or something along LIGO, you know that the light's traveling a straight line, and all of the refraction.
There's no light. There's no light. They're taking a GPS unit across. I don't know if this is a structure.
I'm just saying, if you could get access to LIGO, then you could do all the optical stuff you like, and then no one would have any problem with any of it, because all the refraction bollocks would be eliminated.
But generally speaking, maybe George would know, there's got to be engineering firms who have 3, 4, 5 mile straight lines mapped out already.
Dude, I got a patch right here, man. It take me about 45 seconds to show you.
No, mind of God, we went through this.
Explaining it too.
Mind of God, we went through this 2 years ago, whatever it was, with you, and we explained to you how difficult it was to create something that's a straight line unless you use GPS. Manufacturing a straight thing that's 2 miles long is not something that's done by people.
Hold on a second, man. Hey, mind of God, look at my screen real quick, and let me explain this real quick. Okay, Tell me when you can see my screen.
Okay, right now I just see all the icons or all the avatars.
Okay, look, you'll see some green bushes. I'm showing it. I don't know how to.
Mark Sargent said he wants a solution by the end of the year, so we gotta hurry. So let's figure it out.
Okay, I got it right here, man.
Well,
Okay,
if you're happy with GPS, mind of God, it's all sorted.
If you can't see it, maybe you can picture it. Okay.
No, we can't see it. Oh, George, Brian, we don't understand it even when you're showing it to us.
Shut up, Rumpus. You don't understand. He might. Okay, so check it out. You see
no one understands, Brian. I'm not the only one who has no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. So there's no way to show my screen right here?
We're getting the dancing square. Stop sharing and then start sharing again. Maybe it'll work.
Okay, Rumpus, when you walk into a bar, dude, do you just start talking to everybody in their conversations? Like, you just randomly interrupt?
my God, you're no position. You are, my God, this is incredibly hypocritical. You are one of the worst people interrupting. To lecture to me about that is just incredible.
Mine got perfect manners, Rumpus. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
He has not. Absolutely not. The reason I interrupted I interrupted Brian with I thought was a constructive point was that if he's trying, we can't understand what he's saying even when he's showing us his thingy. The chance of you understanding just a description is absolutely zero. So I was trying to save everybody lots of time.
Brian, just give us the concept, and we don't want optics.
All right, here's my avatar. Okay, you don't want to see this. Okay, so what I have is a simulated curvature on a fence post. Okay, I'm looking down that fence post from one end to another. I got 3 spots, and I'm representing 8 miles. So so I got 3 string lines, one representing 0, one representing 4 miles, and the other one representing 8 miles down at the end. I'm looking down this fence line in a straight line. Okay, so I line up. So what I do is I run 3 20-foot posts, one at the beginning, one in the middle 4 miles away, and one 8 miles away in a straight line. I run them all. The post 20 foot above the water. Okay, I'm still looking down each one. Okay, now I take a 20-foot string line and I pull them to the left of that straight line that I'm looking down from 0 to 8 miles. I pull them to the left down at 45 degrees. Okay, so each string line is 20 foot long, and each string line is running down at a 45-degree angle to the left at 45 degrees.
Okay.
And if you could see my screen, I did this in real life on a fence post. If the Earth is a globe, if you could see my screen, these stakes do not line up. The one in the middle is not quite as far out as the other 2. So if there's a bulge in the middle, and you look down it, and you could even run a straight line, the 8 miles next to the bridge. So we could even do it on a bridge. We could, if the bridge is arcing, we could pull 45-degree lines down to the right and toward the water. And if they're all 20 foot long, then the end of that 20 foot at 45 degrees represents a spot in free space. Okay, now if we line them up, we can run a string line down next to the bridge, and the humpier one in the middle is going to be shorter. It's not going to go out as far. Okay, it's not going to go out as far. I wish you could see my screen, but I'm going to put up a video demonstrating this where you can see a full screen and everything. It should be up after this stream's over. It should take me about an hour to get it uploaded, and but to me, it's settled science, man. I mean,
You have an 8-mile string?
No,
You have an 8
well, if you couldn't see it visually, you could see it, and you could measure it if you wanted to run an 8-mile string, and it'd only have to be straight right to left. It wouldn't have to be straight up and down. And I think we could see it optically.
Well, I wouldn't have to be straight up and down.
Up and down don't matter. We just need to make sure it's not curving right to left if we're going to compare the string lines. But I don't want to. I wish y'all could see the screen, man. How can I present something if you can't see the fucking screen?
Did you try stopping your share and sharing again, Brian?
I'm not sharing. What do I do to share on a phone?
It looks like you're doing it already. You were sharing before,
let me
weren't
stop
you?
it. Okay. I stopped. Yeah, but I stopped. Okay, so I turned the camera off. That stopped sharing, right?
Yeah. Now try to start it again. Whatever you did before. No, it's not. Okay. It's not picking it up.
How long is the string hanging off the posts? Again, at 45 degrees.
They're all 48 inches long. Okay, and the one in the middle, though, okay, is the one in the middle is up higher. It's representing the bulge, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand that string because I'm just trying to think from their vantage point what they're going to argue, where they could say it's negligible.
I already have, man. It's hard to argue because at first I had it pictured that we could flop an arc on its side, but now I'm thinking like free space with a double helix type of math, where you just kind of turn it 45 degrees like a double helix, like DNA almost, and that's the best we're going to get. It's 45 degrees, so. It would be a long string line, but the equal distances, all of them at 45 degrees, they don't line up. The one that's higher, so if the one in the middle, bridge is higher in the middle of the straight line they're referring to, if you run a string down 45 degrees next to that bridge, it's not going to go out as far. You feel me?
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. I get it. I think the whole fundamental issue is that we need a a straight line reference to be able to compare both geometries, and I sort of see what you're getting.
No problem, and it wouldn't be no problem running a straight line that didn't have to curve right to left. You know, our only problem is it not sagging. Who cares if it sags? The bridge itself is supposed to be arcing. So if our line's sagging, it doesn't matter as long as it's not curving from right to left. You see? So if these two ends line up and the one in the middle doesn't, which in reality that's what's happening. So all I can tell you is that, and I ran a string line right here. So in reality, when I take equal distance and I run a string line, there's a gap in that middle one. I don't know if you can see it here. If I wiggle it, that string line, there's a gap in the middle one, and all them string lines are running at the exact same angle, and they're the exact same length. And the one in the middle.
Here's the deal. Here's the simplest way to do it. If you were to get an engineering firm to just go whatever we know is objectively straight, even if it's only like 50 meters or less, then they plot those points along that path, and then they generate a long line and a long straight line, and then they give us the coordinates along those points. And then so that's our straight reference. We know that that's straight. And then they take that unit that produced those points along that known straight line now. Then they go and use that same unit and put that on the water, and then they do a 2D survey. And all they do is they give us the points. They say, this is the line and this is the water. And then we go into MATLAB or whatever and we plot it. And that's it. There's nothing, there's no optics, there's nothing. All we're doing is trusting that GPS unit over a very large thing. But that's, everybody would trust that. There's no conspiracy in that. Like, GPS is pretty accurate along a big swath of water. For sure. I mean, it's huge. So if there are little perturbations or whatever, it's not going to show a globe, you know, or if it's not going to make a flat Earth. And so that's the only thing that I can think of. You know, I'm not saying that yours is wrong, but that's the part that this.
Well, I just demonstrated in real life. That when we do that and we have equal string, okay, and if one is higher than the other two, I just demonstrated in real life that if they're the exact same angle and the exact same distance, if the middle one is higher than the other two, it will not go as far, okay? And there's no degrees to offset that measurement enough to make it not feasible. So it's worth a try, man. To me, it's sound, man. I'm surprised everybody ain't excited, but
the only issue
because
with
of my work leading up to this.
The only issue with that, as Rumpus said earlier, he acknowledges that the Earth is flat even on a large scale. So they'll just say, like, yeah, that's what it should be, you know, like, because it's not.
But what
far
I'm saying
enough away.
he also said that bridge is curving. So if that bridge is curving, okay, then that means that the middle is higher than the two ends. If you call the bridge a chord, so if we look down that bridge as a chord, then we run strings 45 degrees off of it. The higher one is going to be shorter. But thanks for listening anyway.
Rumpus said the Earth is incredibly flat.
Yeah.
Correct. We got that. That was the highlight of Brandon Show 23.
Yeah. Can you just say that for me one time, Rumpus, so I don't have to dig back? Can you just say the Earth is incredibly flat, please?
The Earth is very flat. It only changes by 8 inches over the distance of a mile. That's very flat.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's not curved, you twat.
Of course, you're gonna edit out the last part, right? And make it say the Earth is flat, right?
Yeah, of course.
Rumpus, are you cool? Are you cool with my GPS idea?
So, which idea is that? So who's
how would you do that to misquote him and show me to be an idiot or what?
If we get an engineering firm to give
wouldn't
us
be a very funny soundbite if he didn't, would it?
Mind of God is trying to say something to me.
The whole point is to misquote people.
Mind of God is trying. Yeah, well, I know what they're going to do. I mean, they can edit that. I don't mind. I know what they're like.
What he said.
I don't mind them. I know they will misrepresent. You see, the thing is, I don't reflect on them badly. See, I don't care that they're going to try and misrepresent me. I just know that's what. Well, some of the people here are not too bad, but there will be those who will deliberately try and misrepresent what I've said. And they say it is very flat. That doesn't mean to say it is flat. It is curved, but the curve is very slight. Over a mile, it's only 8 inches. Now, if someone wants to misuse that, then I can later on say, look, you've edited it, you wanker. That shows you you're a git. And so I don't mind them. I don't mind exposing them doing that sort of thing, because later on I can then say, look, you're a wanker. Look at these gits. They try and misrepresent people. They're not honest. They're not honest explorers for the truth. So the more they do that sort of thing, the happier I am.
I'm still going to do it.
Hostile witnesses are a great thing.
Yeah, Rumpus, you do what you got to do, and we're going to do what we got to do. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, whereas I'm honest, and other people are not. Whether you choose to do it or not.
All right, so the GPS is it, man. Let's do it this
it's incredibly flat is being honest.
It's
Yes,
very
that is
flat. It only changes off flat by 8
Aren't you
inches
guys-
over a mile. That's the thing. It's very difficult to measure that. It's really tricky. It's
No,
a very
it's not,
flat
man.
thing.
It's tricky for you because you guys are
Wow.
stupid. You guys are
Look,
dumb.
Yeah, I would
It's
have
only when
thought
it
it would be
starts.
very hard.
It's only
I
when you're
can
looking
measure
at
8
ships, say
inches
10.
in a mile pretty
So
easy.
this is why my test, for instance, I'm proposing is over 6 miles, and I'm getting a 25-foot drop.
Go ahead.
So that's 6 miles. So that's a long distance
But
to do
does it
things
have
over.
optics? We
And
don't
you
want
don't-
optics. We only want
Well,
GPS.
you can compensate. You can with a thing. Well, if you're happy to do GPS, that's even fine. As I say, Jesse Kozlowski did a survey of the Pontchartrain Bridge, and he shows that it's curved. So if you're prepared to
No,
accept,
we
hold
need a
on,
straight
hold on, Mark,
reference.
you're
We need a
interrupting me.
straight line
Hold
reference.
on,
That's the only thing.
hold on. You're being rude now. He demonstrated using very, very accurate differential GPS, not your bog standard GPS, a very accurate GPS system that you have to spend several tens of thousands of dollars on. And with
Yeah, I
that,
know.
he
They
gave,
exist.
nearly there. He gave a very accurate survey. He went along every few meters or something along that bridge and gave you a very accurate survey of it. And it showed that it was curved. Carry on. What's your mind?
No, that's fine. I think it would be better to say that on a local scale, the Earth
George, I
curves
think Mind the
ever
God
so
was waiting to
slightly.
say something after him.
George, dude, we don't have any issues with the bridge and all that, but we need a straight line reference to make both sides happy. We need that because.
So you're happy with the survey of the bridge?
I'm happy with the.
Hey, I got a super chat from Godzilla actually through Streamlabs, which due to the issues didn't kick it off. But thank you, Godzilla. Rumpus is here day after day, hilariously arguing for a model that lost its radius a long time ago. Globers, you need some new idiots. This one's done. Thank you, Godzilla37. Thank you very much.
Talk over everyone. Wait till someone's through speaking before you open your yap. My God, you're annoying.
So exactly what you just did to Mind the God a second ago.
All right, let's get
It's
focused
not.
here. I
I
think
waited
we're not going to
until
solve
George,
this.
get your head out of your fucking ass.
George,
Stop
we're not
being
going to.
such a prick.
Yeah, we're not going to solve this, but I think that the bridge is not a good idea because then let's say it proves that it's flat, then you guys will say, oh no, it's flat locally, and then let's say it's curved.
Jesse
We'll say,
Kozlowski surveyed it and showed absolutely that it was curved.
sure, here's
And
the
we
deal.
showed absolutely that he fucked everything up. That
Yeah,
video's
but-
been torn apart.
Has not, Paige. You can tear apart anything.
So
You can't even go outside and look at the stars.
You just made
But
that up,
Rumpus,
Paige.
Rumpus,
Come on,
here's
go.
the thing that's missing is the straight line reference. That's what we need for any solution, right?
But you said you were happy with GPS. You've said several
Yeah,
times.
yeah, but wait. For us to be able to know anything, we need to know that system that he's using. We need to have those coordinates along a straight line. That's our reference.
So it does that.
Okay, wait,
GPS.
let me finish. Almost done.
Okay.
Done. So let's say he did the surveying along the Pontchartrain. That's great. Let's say he literally on video said, okay, I'm here, gave us the coordinate, went over to the middle, gave us, or whatever, every little bit gave us the coordinates. We're like, okay, great. So it looks like Jesse's given us those coordinates. And then let's say he gave us that data, right? As flat earthers.
Which he
say made
has.
it
He's
open
given them
source.
with the data.
Sure. Yeah, good. So let's say he did that, right? And then he took that same unit, then we need a straight line reference to plot that against. Right?
But
That's
GPS
obvious.
is that. The GPS
No.
coordinate
That's,
system.
dude, those are the data points. We don't have the grid to plot it on. That's what the
Yeah, we
straight
do.
line represents.
They do, the
No, you
GPS
don't.
system. Yes, you do.
Rumpus.
The coordinates that he's
Okay,
got
if that
are
bridge
along
is
straight
curving.
line. The GPS coordinates that he uses, which is the ECEF, are orthogonal 3D straight line grid.
Rumpus. So if you say that bridge is curving, okay, if we in the middle of the curving spot, if we hung a 20-foot plumb bob, and then at both ends we hung a 20-foot plumb bob, in free space, the one in the middle wouldn't go down as far, correct?
They'll go
What
down
are you
exactly as
talking
far.
about?
They go to the water. If you had bits of the bridge,
Right.
20 feet
In free space, buddy. In free space.
Rumpus, are you playing dumb on purpose? with me
hold
or-
on.
One
Let me
second,
just-
one second. Rumpus, are you playing dumb on purpose, or do you actually not understand what I'm saying? If you have points along the bridge,
No, you don't understand.
Listen, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. If you take points along a bridge, how do you know what the interpolation scheme between that is? How do you know whether it's a straight line or
Hold on. When you
curve?
say take, he returns coordinates in a 3D ECEF grid. The bridge is not. There's nothing related to the bridge. He doesn't have to compensate for the bridge. As far as the GPS is concerned, it's in space. So
Good.
he gets 3D
Correct.
coordinates on the GPS very accurately.
Exactly.
So there's no,
Okay.
there's no complication.
Is the plumb bobs going to be hanging down at different, in free space, are them plumb bobs 20 foot going to hang down at different levels?
So how many points does he need? You're saying that you have points, but you need points in between. How many points do you need?
No, the whole idea, we need to understand in between those points, we need to know how to connect those.
You mean you connect them with a line?
No.
Yes,
Who said that?
The grid.
Who said that?
It's
NASA show. Connect them with a line. It's called a model.
Who said
I
connect
did.
them with a line?
NASA show.
And so you're a baller, obviously.
If the
no
points
shit.
are close
Okay,
enough,
good.
you can.
No, let me expose this idiot. So you get these points along this bridge, right? And you're the retard who's just gonna go and
they
connect those
return
in a straight
3D
line?
coordinates. You do understand?
I'm the retard.
Yeah, you are.
I'm the retard.
Yeah,
he's got points, and you're wondering what's in between the points. Forget
Dummy.
what's in between the points. Draw lines between the points.
Dummy, we're inferring.
All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. It's already 8:40. That was a pretty interesting conversation. I'll let it go on for a while because I was having some fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll be back tomorrow night, 5:05 or 10:05 GMT. And who knows what'll be happening tomorrow night. See if I can get a debate going this week. I know Flatza said he was going to come in sometime pretty soon. He's got some observations he wanted to show us. So maybe that'll happen. And there was a couple things I didn't get to from today, which was the creepy NASA founders. That'll be fun to talk about. And also SpaceX, first all civilian mission to space. We give us something to talk about tomorrow. And hopefully I can get the new recurring technical issues fixed. I don't know what the heck. Reverted to exactly what it was before. Anyway, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. And we will see you again tomorrow night. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.